NBC Sports presents the National Football League. Today, it's the Denver Broncos versus the Kansas City Chiefs.
It's showdown time at Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City, and we got a break with the weather. The rain has been with us for the last couple of days, but fortunately it started to clear just about 3 hours ago, and things couldn't be any tighter in the AFC Western Division. The Broncos and the Chiefs, identical records of 7-3. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Joel Meyers alongside Dan Hampton, and welcome to Arrowhead Stadium. The matchup this afternoon could be a day where the defensive units take center stage. When you talk about the Kansas City Chiefs defensive unit, well, Dan, they're a big play defense, and they take the ball away from the opposition with a great deal of regularity.
Well, they do, Joel. And in the last 2 years, Kansas City is plus 46 in turnover ratio. That's far and away the best in the league. But the thing is, their offense doesn't turn it over. Guys like Christian McCoy pounding inside, but we're on defense is where they really make it happen. Guys like Derek Thomas, they fly around, strip the ball from quarterbacks, get fumbles, pick off passes. It's just hard to keep the ball out of this defense's hands.
Denver has turned it all around this year defensively. Their cornerbacks are healthy once again. Their #1 draft choice out of Nebraska, Mike Kroll, leads the AFC in sacks. And their strength really is up the middle, where they've got some big hitters.
Well, it'll have to be today. But the thing is, their defense inside is very strong with their safeties and linebackers. But the thing they need to do today is get turnovers. Last week, they got 0, and they felt like they had let the offensive guys down. So today is, can Carl Mecklenburg and that bunch on defense get the ball for John Elway?
Well, it seems like whenever they get the ball into the hands of John Elway against the Kansas City Chiefs, he spins some magic. He did it again in the first meeting between these two teams 4 weeks ago. It was a 71-yard pass to Mark Jackson. That proved to be the difference. It set up the game-winning field goal for David Treadwell. A little under 2.5 minutes left in the contest. And Dan Reeves in the individual matchup with Kansas City. Well, he has owned Marty Schottenheimer, whether Marty's been at Cleveland or Kansas City. As you can see, Denver has taken 4 of the last 5. They won that game 4 weeks ago at Mile High, and 6 of the last 8 very, very close affairs. Denver has won the opening toss. They'll put Derek Russell back deep. And with Russell, it'll be defensive back Elton Montgomery. So the rematch from 4 weeks ago, a sold-out show at Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City, and there's another flyby.
Well, that's not good news for Dan Reeves. The last time they had a flyby here in Kansas City, Derek Thomas had 7 sacks. So if anybody doesn't want to see the planes go by, it's that bunch over there from Denver.
We are underway at Arrowhead. And it'll be Montgomery from the 5. Montgomery with great blocking out in front. All the way to Kansas City territory, down to the Chiefs' 40-yard line. 54 yards on the return for Elton Montgomery.
Well, Montgomery does a great job here. The wall sets up to his right, so he gets over there and follows it up through the seam. Now, right here, Derek Russell, number 85, will be his escort. You'll see Russell just keeping the defender out of his way, letting him get up the sideline for a lot of good yards there on the opener.
So from the 40, Elway and the Broncos ready to go. He keeps the plays. You see that left wristband. Those are the plays. So many formations as well for Elway to deal with. So he puts Clarence K in motion. Gaston Green. Nothing available over on the left side. A yard, and that is it to the 39. Offensive line, a quick group up front, and a group that has grown in size over the last couple of years. Anchored on the right side by all that experience of big number 76, Ken Lanier. And in the backfield with John Elway, the former Ram, Gaston Green, Robert Perriman, the former Patriot. And it's Young and Jackson, the wideouts, and Clarence K, the tight end. And when they go to the 4 wideouts, Derek Russell comes into the game, along with Ricky Nateel. 2nd and 9. Quick one for Elway. And the tight end can't hang on. Reggie Johnson. It would have been enough for the first down. Defensively for the Kansas City Chiefs, a very, very quick group, and even faster on their home artificial surface. Smith, Saliamu-Amas up front, Martin, Randall, Hackett, and the incredible Derek Thomas at the linebacker positions. And in the secondary, it's Lewis, Pearson, Porter, and Duron Cherry, the free safety who had a pick last week. The first third down of the contest for Elway out of the shotgun, 3rd and 9. Pressure. Is it a sack? Yes. Saliamua. The big one out of Arizona State in his 5th season, a 300-pounder. Did he ever get in the backfield in a hurry, Dan?
Well, Marty Schottenheimer told us yesterday, our guys like to play on turf because they're quick. You'll see Saliamua just swim through the guard center gap there. I mean, this guy for 300 can really scoot on this carpet.
Punting situation for Mike Horan and the Broncos. And it's Troy Stratford, the former Dolphin, waiting back deep, angling it towards the sideline. And it goes into the end zone. Well, there is a flag back at the original line of scrimmage. 45-yard punt, but only a net of 25 yards for Mike Horan. The referee is Bob McElway in his 16th season as a referee in the NFL. Now, what a boost for that Kansas City group. The defensive unit coming up big after great field position for Elway and the Broncos on their first series of the day.
Ineligible downfield on the kick. 79 kicking team. That penalty is declined. First down.
So it's declined by Schottenheimer and the Chiefs. They'll have it 1st and 10 at their own 20. The offensive line, a massive one for the Kansas City Chiefs. Second-year man Tim Grunhard anchors it in the middle at center. And in the backfield with DeBerg, Okoye and Jones get the start today. Thomas and Barnett the wideouts, and Jonathan Hayes the tight end. First down from their own 20 when they go to 4 wide. Burden, McNair, and Harry come into the game. It is Okoye. And straight ahead for close to 4 yards. Defensively today, the alignment for the Denver Broncos. And they have a good deal of team speed on their defensive unit. Carricker gets his first start of the year. Cragen and Holmes up front. Fletcher, Brooks, Mecklenburg, and Kroll, the linebackers, and the strength of this defensive unit. Braxton and Henderson, the cornerbacks, and Smith and Atwater, the safeties. Plenty of experience back there with Dennis Smith.
Well, the safeties are great big guys. They play like linebackers, and they have to against Kansas City's offensive running attack.
Second and a long 6. Play action for DeBerg. He's got Rob Thomas, and it's complete into Denver territory. 40 yards on the reception.
Well, DeBerg had a little bit of pressure. He went with the play action. That is his forte. They like to hand it off, and then all of a sudden he'll fake that handoff. Okoye goes through the line. By this time, the safeties had sucked up inside. He has all day to get the ball back outside to Thomas. Here, you'll see Atwater bit on that run fake. That's why he wasn't able to get over on top any quicker.
And as you can see, Steve DeBerg is so great with the play action. Our cameraman was biting on that play action fake as well. 1st and 10, 37 of Denver. Okoye to the 35. 2.5 yards, and that is it. Christian Okoye, for some reason, has never been able to get off against the Denver Broncos. In 6 games, as you can see, not even 200 yards and only a 3-yard average.
Well, Joel, some of the games that he's played against Denver, he hasn't been 100%. He was injured last year a couple times. But the thing about Denver's defense is they seem to get big when they have to play Kansas City. They know they're going to be in for a physical pounding, and they just say, hey, we're just going to accept it, and we're going to get after you.
Second and long. Okoye. Not much on the left side. Inside the 35, close to the 34. It was funny when Marty Schottenheimer told us yesterday, we asked him, can you account for the disappointments Okoye has had previously against Denver? He said, you know, I've heard Denver Bronco players say to me, it's a funny sense they have going for them in a game against Okoye. They feel like they know where he's going to be.
Well, it's an offensive structure that if Okoye's in there, when he's in there always with a blocking back, because he's a lot better going through the hole when he can follow a fullback. Word will go through and kind of chip away at the hole and make sure that he's got a seam where he can get up inside. But, you know, that's the thing about Corey. He likes to run inside between the tackles.
3rd and 7 out of the shotgun to DeBerg. With time. And it's intercepted. Braxton down the sideline. And the offensive lineman gets him. There's a fumble at the end of the play, but it still belongs to Denver. I said Braxton, it was 24, not 34. Wyman Henderson coming up with the pick. The lineman saves the touchdown, though.
Well, we'll take a look at this. You'll see Tosh run just a little square out here. Right there, the corner makes a great play on it. Henderson never really bid on that push-off. He knew it was going to be an out. He goes ahead, he gets up in front, makes the pick. And then this is great hustle by Grunhard, the center. Now, he's running down one of those 180-pound cornerbacks, though. This guy can run, too.
So twice now Denver has had the ball, and twice they've started in Kansas City territory. The pitch for Gaston Green. Flagged down to the play, and so is Green at the 19-yard line. 4 on the carry for the former UCLA Bruin. What's the flag all about, though? It is a hold against the offense. Yeah, will it be on the tight end, Shannon Sharp?
Holding. Number 81. Offense. 10 yards.
We'll watch Sharp here.
Still first down.
Now, at the right of your screen here, you'll see him come out. He's blocking the force man, Pearson. It doesn't look that bad to me. I think today's game is going to be won by the players. I got to let these guys play. That wasn't. I don't think that should have been called, Joe.
So first down all over again, but 1st and 20 now. Back at the 33 for Elway. Greg Lewis, the only one in the backfield. The delay for the former Washington Husky. Forget it. Not even a yard on the carry for the rookie. Opportunity to look at the ITT 10-minute ticker. And the Redskins trying to clinch a playoff spot already with a 7-0 lead early over the Pittsburgh Steelers. And nothing else of the offensive variety so far in the early games. Almost 5 minutes gone by in the first quarter at Kansas City. Joel Meyers along with Dan Hampton. 2nd and long. 2nd and still close to 20. Movement on the line. It looked like that count by Elway got the Chiefs offside.
Well, it looks like the nose guard, Sally Mua. No, someone on Denver pulled up a little bit early. Well, Sally's got an excuse when the coach gets on him about jumping. We'll take a look here. Crawford Kerr, the left guard on the right of your screen there. The last time they tried to pass the ball, Sally Amua had beaten him with a real quick swim to the inside. There, Kerr was going to slide block, and he was just trying to make sure he didn't get beat again. So just a little bit early out.
So penalties killing the Denver Broncos early. It's been a game that has seen a number of big plays already. And now 2nd and better than 20. Steve Sewell. Their 3rd down specialist has it on 2nd down, refuses to go down. And he's to the 26-yard line. 12 yards on that reception. The hit made by Kevin Ross, who gets the opportunity to get back in there.
Well, Kansas City opts for a 4-man rusher, and the offensive line does a good job giving John time to dance a little bit, then go ahead with his hot receiver. Sewell just on a little flare out there.
Sewell leads the team in receptions now with 30 as they go to their 4 wide-out set. On 3rd down and 13. Elway has time, and he's got a receiver, Derek Russell, for the first down, I believe. Yes, inside the 15. So Elway gets it done. And he had to get it done with 25 yards for that first down.
Well, Kansas City's got 2 fine corners in Albert Lewis and Kevin Ross, but they're both coming off of injuries of some sort, and Elway told us yesterday he's going to try to work on them. Here, you see, he just goes to Derek Russell. He's pushed Kevin Ross off the ball so far. Is an easy completion.
1st and 10 outside the 12. Counter delay. Doesn't work for Greg Lewis. No gain on that carry. Dino Hackett, the first one in there on the stop.
Now you talk about defense. team speed defense. Now, here you'll see the long trap. It looks like it's a pretty good play right there. But watch how many red shirts get over and make contact with the ball carrier at the line of scrimmage. Some guys get blocked, but hey, if you don't watch out, they're going to be right there at the point of impact, and they're going to come in a bad mood.
Got it, 2nd and 10. That's 4 carries now for the Denver offense and only 3 yards on the ground. Elway with pressure just dumps it away. Derek Thomas in the face of John Elway. He's 2nd in the AFC in sacks with 8.5 coming into the game. 2nd to Mike Kroll of the Denver Broncos.
A lot of people talk about sacks and how important they are, but this is just as important. Here, what you get is pressure. Quarterback hits and pressures. That causes a lot of bad plays, and that sometimes is overlooked. Everybody wants to talk about sacks there, sacks there. That pressure is a big thing.
Dime package in there now for the Kansas City defense on 3rd and 10 for Elway and the Broncos. Scoreless thus far. 7:34 left in the first quarter. Thomas again gets the pressure and a sack.
We talked about sacks being important, and I think you can see right here, this is one of the plays that can turn games around. When you got a guy like Thomas, he'll come around. You'll see him at the right of your screen. Harvey Salem, the 3rd down left tackle pass blocking specialist, had no chance there. You talk about getting guys in the home field advantage area. Playing on turf is what Thomas loves. He can turn that corner all day on it.
It's a 37-yard field goal attempt for David Treadwell. And he splits the uprights as the Broncos capitalize on the interception by Henderson, picking up 3 points and the lead over Kansas City. Offensive problems continue for John Elway and the Broncos. Offensive attack, 9 games without scoring a first quarter TD. That only touchdown came against Cincinnati as Treadwell gets ready to kick it away. Harvey Williams, the deep back for Kansas City. And don't forget, Kansas City has started both of their drives, or rather Denver has started both of their drives in Kansas City territory. Williams from the 6. And the quick one from LSU. Their first-round draft choice takes it to the 30-yard line. Well, that's where the Chiefs will have it for the 2nd time offensively when we come back to Arrowhead Stadium with the Broncos up on top by 3. So there is a timeout on the field, and we'll be right back to Kansas City.
And you'll find starter. By Coors Light, the silver bullet is the right beer now. By Old Spice Fragrance and Aftershave. Cool, crisp, and unmistakably masculine. Old Spice. And by Mitsubishi, bringing you a full line of award-winning automobiles. Mitsubishi, the word is getting around.
They are out in force this afternoon, and we got a break with the weather. It was cold and wet all weekend long, but all of a sudden, sun is breaking through, and the temperature at game time close to 60 degrees. Kansas City very fortunate to be down by only 3. As you can see, those 2 drives for Denver starting in KC territory. Harvey Williams trying to turn to the outside. They strung the play out well, and it's a yard, if that much, for the rookie running back. Early lead for Washington as they try to move out to 11-0 and wrap up a playoff spot already. Bears at Indianapolis this afternoon. And a must-win situation for the New York Jets in Foxborough. On a 37-yard field goal, Denver with the early lead over the Chiefs. Call it 2nd and 9. Pressure from Fletcher. Dump off to Williams. Harvey Williams making the miss for a first down across the 40. A lot of people wonder why they went after another running back in the first round, the most recent draft, but he's a completely different sort.
Well, it's a different dimension. Word and Okoye, they like to bounce up inside, bang on people. Here, Williams, watch this smooth here. Now, Brooks is a great linebacker, and he makes him miss completely. Harvey Williams gives this offense something that it lacked. A guy out of the backfield that can make the big gain very easily.
Williams gets the call on first down and stays low for 3 to the 45. Michael Brooks making the stop. I asked Harvey Williams yesterday what it's like being in a backfield with Barry Ward and Christian Okoye, and what he lends to that backfield. He said it's tough for Marty, but you know, it's like Donald Trump. When Donald Trump goes into his garage, he can pull out the Ferrari, the Porsche, the Cadillac, the Lincoln Town Car. Well, with Marty, it's a similar situation. He can go to Okoye, Ward, or he can go for the darter, myself. And he is unbelievably quick. 2nd and 7 for the 45. Williams can't hang on. A little low on the throw, but Fletcher in the face of DeBerg once again.
Well, it looked like the Ferrari dropped one there, but that's what you got to do. If you get a linebacker blitzing, a guy that's supposed to be covering this back, well, you just throw it to the back. He should make good yardage before someone else falls off of his man and tries to tackle him. So Fletcher came, quick reaction by DeBerg to get the ball to Williams.
Fletcher in his 7th year out of Houston. Also up there in the sack department. In fact, 4 of the top 6 sack masters in the AFC on the field today. Thomas and Kroll on top of that list. Now 3rd and 7 from the 45. DeBerg going deep. And not close as he was looking for Amy O'Harry.
A lot of people think Kansas City is a very conservative style offense, and in a way they are. They like to pound it out. They like to hand it off to those good backs and let them make yardage. But DeBerg has always been one of those guys that likes to go up top and keep those safeties honest. And I think we're going to see him do that an awful lot today.
Brian Barker comes into the game with a 40-yard average. Alton Montgomery waiting back deep at the 10-yard line for the Broncos. So Denver ready to get it back with a 3-point lead. A wobbler and a short one. Montgomery at the 15. Can't get away from the first man down, Todd McNair. Great coverage by McNair and the special teams. So for the first time today on their 3rd possession, Denver with a 3-point lead will get the ball in their own territory. The drive at his own territory for the first time today on their 3rd offensive possession from the 14. Gaston Green cutting it back for only 2 to the 16. Sally Amua, the man that didn't have a place to play in Detroit. He backed up Jerry Ballin 3 years ago. Signed as a plan B with Kansas City. It paid off for both parties.
Sally Mua is one of those nose guards that a lot of those guys that play their position, they're little stumps, and they really can't rush the passer. They just more or less control an area about 5 yards wide, tackle to tackle, make people double team, and you never hear their name. This guy's not like that. He can rush the passer. He goes sideline to sideline. One of the best in the AFC.
2nd and 8 from the 16. Gaston Green. Nothing available. Chris Martin, the linebacker, the first one to greet him. Near the 19-yard line. So only 2 on that carry. Good pursuit down the line by the defensive unit.
We talk about team speed again. Martin coming from the left side just chases the play down from the backside. Well, actually, they had flip-flopped Martin. They had went with a heavy set with 2 tight ends to the left. Martin was over there at the point of attack. But still, that's the thing about Kansas City. They've got guys that can line up in any one of a bunch of positions and still make things happen with that speed.
Broncos hit on 2/3 of their 3rd down tries last week against the Raiders. Can they convert on 3rd and 6? Elway in trouble on his way down. The defensive back gets in. J.C. Pearson in the backfield. That is already the 3rd sack in the early going for the Chiefs.
Well, I think Henderson's been watching some film of those defensive ends and linebackers. You'll see him come from the top of the screen. He'll be pass rushing here on Lanier. Now, Lanier's a good offensive tackle. He makes a great inside move on him. This goes right around him. He'll be over there saying, hey, blitz me again, I'll get another one.
So now Horan has to punt from his own end zone. A couple of yards into the end zone. As Stratford waits back around midfield, and Horan sends out a beauty. You'd think he's in the thin air of Mile High with that punt. Stratford only to the 39-yard line. Shannon Sharp, the first one down there after a 55-yard punt by Mike Horan. Chiefs get it back offensively as we return to Kansas City with Denver on top by 3. Don't forget next Sunday on NBC Sports, another great NFL doubleheader. 4 early games and then a monster. And I use that word monster for the second half of our doubleheader. Miami at Chicago. Others will see Denver taking on Seattle. And don't forget on NFL Live, a special conversation with Mike Ditka, the head coach of the Chicago Bears. 1st and 10 for the Chiefs. Their own 39. Okoye, his best run so far. 6 yards to the 45-yard line. I know you will be glued to the TV, Dan, to see that interview on NFL Live with your former head coach, Mike Ditka.
Well, Dick has done a great job this year. There's no question. 8-2, no one ever even ventured to guess that there'd be that. But, you know, looking at that picture, he's starting to look like a bear, isn't he? Look at this. Look at that hair. Jeez.
Well, you didn't call him that yesterday when you said to Dan Reeves, who talks to him weekly, you said, Dan, tell Mike I said hello and tell him he's starting to look like a walrus.
No, I said bear. Bear.
Oh, it was that Beatles song you were singing. That's right. 2nd and 4 from the 45-yard line. Harvey Williams up the middle. He's wrapped up in a hurry. Still gets 3, though, to the 48, where he's short of the first down by a yard, yard and a half. Greg Cragen makes that stop. And some scorers now on the ITT 10-minute ticker. Washington, the touchdown run by Gerald Riggs, maintains that 7-point lead. Indianapolis on a Jeff George pass with the advantage early over the Bears. Even between Minnesota and Green Bay in the first quarter. Jets need it in a big way after that disappointment last Sunday against Indianapolis. Okoye and Jones in the backfield behind DeBerg on 3rd and short. 3rd and just about 2. And Okoye is met in the backfield, and I don't believe he got there. He needed to go just across the 49. And the punting unit already coming on the field for Marty Schottenheimer. So far, Dan, the Kansas City offense a no-show.
Well, Alfonso Carricker was starting today for the first time. He's the left end, number 92. He did a great job there of standing up the offensive tackle and then shedding him and falling back inside to stop this play. You'll see him right there coming back inside. Cragen and Mecklenburg filling up inside. And, you know, you talk about the Denver defense being strong up the middle. Well, they've got some good guys on the outside. But, you know, Mecklenburg, Brooks, Cragen, the nose tackle, the safeties, those are the ones that really have to play well today to stop this inside running game.
Cragen down at the bottom, and whenever we talk about Greg Cragen, the nose tackle, and he was our MVP 4 weeks ago in the win for the Broncos over the Chiefs, you've always said he's got a good motor. I guess you mean he's got a big heart.
Well, not only that, but here's a guy that has a lunch pail attitude. I mean, he comes to work every day. He looks forward to playing, and he's not as big and fast and strong as some of the other guys, but all he does is go out and make play after play, and he's a big reason why Denver is playing so well on defense. Barker
punts it away to Vance Johnson. Very high spiral. Johnson will let it sail over his head. Will it get into the end zone? Yes. So Denver, after the 52-yard punt, net of 32 for Barker, has it for the 4th time already. In the first quarter with 61 seconds left in the first 15 minutes of play. And Denver, with all that great field position, has only 1 first down so far. No, Marty Schottenheimer has had his problems with John Elway. Whether Marty has been on the sideline for Cleveland or Kansas City. He says they match up well, but who will ever forget the fumble, the drive? Ice Station Cleveland, as they call it. January 11th, 1987. The drive that Elway put together at Municipal Stadium in Cleveland to beat Schottenheimer in the final minute of play. 1st and 10. Thomas is there. Can he get him? Yes! Another sack for the Chiefs. And Derek Thomas is second.
Well, Derek Thomas, you talk about Kansas City defensive guys getting pressure, getting sacks. Well, this is the 4th one of the day. It's kind of a mismatch. Thomas is coming up here. He's in there working on a running back. That's no running back in the league can block this guy. Now, it's a full day's job for an offensive lineman to do it. That's a mismatch. Derek Thomas made the most of it that time.
His 2nd sack. He's got 10.5 now to lead the AFC in that department. Kroll may have something to say about that before the day is done. Delay to Steve Sewell. And he is wrapped up in a hurry. Dan Saliamoa, he's been all over the place. Goes at 6 feet even, 300 pounds. And he's come up with some big plays early.
Well, he was on Crawford Kerr again. By the end of the day, I think Crawford will vote for this guy when they talk about Pro Bowl nose people. He's had a great start, and we're not even into the 2nd quarter yet.
So now it brings up 3rd and long. The crowd behind the Chiefs defensive unit on 3rd and 17. They are on their feet at Arrowhead. And that is the end of the first 15 minutes of play. So As we said at the top of the telecast, center stage the defensive units, and it's been that way early as we'll come back to Kansas City. Back once again to sold-out Arrowhead Stadium. Denver at the end of the first quarter with a 3-0 lead, looking at third and forever, 3rd and 17. Elway out of the shotgun. He finds the tight end. It's complete to Shannon Sharp for first down. Across the 35 to the 37. Well, Sharp was so upset last week he dropped a certain touchdown pass, and that 1-point loss to the Raiders comes through early today.
Well, Sharp was being covered by Everett here. Elway had good protection. Look at the left of your screen. Thomas trying to come around the back door. Crawford Kerr comes back to help. That's why Elway had time on that pass. Shannon Sharp just running an isolated pattern. Runs away from Everett for the completion.
23 yards on the reception. 1st and 10 at the 37 for the Broncos. Perriman and Green in the backfield. It'll be Gaston Green. Bobbled it a bit on the handoff and gets only 2 to the 40. Great deal of emotion early by the Kansas City defensive unit.
Well, we saw them about 4 weeks ago, and to me, they looked flat. Here you'll see Neil Smith setting the block, falling back in there. Now, you don't see any holes. That's just a big gang of bodies in there. That means that defensive front is doing their job. They're not getting knocked off the line of scrimmage. And Bill Cowher, the defensive coordinator, he's done a great job of slowing down this Denver offense so far.
You can see Denver with only 1 yard at the end of the first 15 minutes of play. 40 of the 71 for Kansas City, and the Rob Thomas pass play. Elway in trouble. On his way down, he lost the ball. Does he get it back? It's a battle. Elway maintains possession. Another sack for Kansas City, and it's their 5th. Chris Martin was in there early.
Well, I can't believe they're not giving the ball to Kansas City because clearly Elway lost the ball. It was a fumble. Now, you don't see Elway up there arguing. That means he knows it was a fumble. We'll see him go back here. Chris Martin, number 57, blitzes from the outside, spins Elway around. Now, right here, you'll see someone strip the ball. It's down. The ball is out of his hands. Elway tried to get it back. I don't know if he retained possession, but I guess the point's moot. They're on the line of scrimmage now.
2nd and long. Back at the Broncos 35. 2nd and a dozen.
Thomas.
Pressure again. And Elway going for the bundle for Derek Russell. And it's knocked away with a flag down the play. Kevin Ross defending.
Well, it's an interference call. Now, what we saw there was Elway being sharp enough to realize, hey, this could be a questionable call. He got his offensive guys up to the line of scrimmage so quickly to go ahead and run it before the replay booth could come into play. Now, he went for the whole bundle.
Offensive pass interference, number 85, 10 yards.
Well, it looks like Derek Russell interfered with the cornerback, Ross, trying to get back to the ball. We're going to try to take another look at this. But Russell did the smart thing. This was almost a sure interception here. You'll see him trying to go ahead and push off. You see that happen in NBA basketball, but you can't do it out here.
Interference. That penalty is declined. 4th down.
Well, even though he was pushed off on, Kevin Ross still makes a great play to get back and keep that ball from being caught.
Yeah, this is the first game back for Kevin Ross since 4 weeks ago when he turned an ankle at Mile High Stadium in the loss to the Denver Broncos. Mike Moran just hit a 55-yarder. Stratford is back, waiting for the Kansas City 20, and they almost get the ball, but they get the punter. A flag is down, and Stratford also is down. Back at the 24, Albert Lewis going for the block. And he's done that so well for so long, almost had another one.
Well, we saw Kevin Ross, one corner, make a big play that last series. Now you'll see the other corner, Albert Lewis, coming up the hole here. Now, he almost got the ball, but
roughing the kicker, 29 defense. That penalty will be accepted.
In training camp, these guys work on this technique for a long time, weeks after weeks, and what they try to do is take that ball off the foot. Now you'll see he misses the ball and inadvertently gets the punter's leg. Now, you know, that's just one of those things that you've got to be aggressive to block a kick. You're not just going to waddle back there and block it. You've got to want to do it. Lewis sold out. Unfortunately, the selling price wasn't in his favor.
Albert blocked 4 punts last year, has 10 during his career, so it's nothing new for the Chiefs and their fans to see number 25 all over the punter. And it almost looked like it was a miracle that it got through his hands.
Well, you'd think Albert Lewis would know how to take that ball off his foot because he takes it out of receivers' hands all the time. But
so Denver has it now at midfield. Gaston Green cutting it back against the grain nicely into the secondary for a first down, where he's pulled down by Lewis. All the way at the Kansas City 37-yard line. It's a 3-0 lead with 12 minutes and 50 seconds left. A 3-0 Bronco lead as we look at the Budweiser 10-minute ticker. A field goal for Chip Lohmiller and a 10-point Redskin lead.
Well, I think it's important for Denver to go ahead and try to get this ground game going. You know, Gaston Green, he's got 657 yards, and he's still missed 3 games, so you know he can get there. But you've got to give him a chance. Otherwise, if you try to throw it all day, you'll die against Kansas City.
The delay for Gaston Green, weaving his way out of the backfield nicely once again to the 30-yard line. So they're starting to make that commitment to the ground game. And it's 8 on the carry for the former UCLA Bruin.
We know Elway is calling his own shots. He'll get signals in on 1st and 2nd down in the run, play, pass mix. But I think what we're seeing is Elway mature. He says, hey, I know that I don't want to back up and try to throw the ball 40, 50 times against this defense. I'm going to go ahead and get this ground game going early and take some heat off of myself. 2nd
and 2. Green tripped up in the backfield. Doesn't gain a thing. Deron Cherry got him almost as soon as he accepted the handoff. And there's the veteran out of the secondary coming up with a big play. He had a phenomenal game last week against the Los Angeles Rams. 15 tackles. We asked him about that game where he came up with his 49th career interception. He said, that ranks right with the best that I've ever put together. He said, I had 4 picks against the Seahawks a few years back, but that was a total effort.
Well, and today he says, you know, playing against John Elway, it always seems to bring out the best in you. Well, I think he got tuned up by Everett last week to bring out the best in himself.
Can the defense come up big once again? 3rd and 2 from the 30. Quarterback draw. Elway loves to call his own number, and he's got the first down to the 22.
Well, the center, Keith Karts, did a good job on Sally Amua that play. Sally Amua been able to make an awful lot of plays inside so far, but we'll see here Sally Amua getting some help. Or you'll see right here in the middle of your picture, 72, giving him a white blocker. That's where he kind of gets him going one way, and then he peels back on the backside linebacker, Irving Randall. So good job by Keith Karts opening that hole for Elway to get the first.
This is the 11th play of the drive. It started back at their own 20, kept alive by the roughing call. And Gaston Green with flags down to the play. It was ripped down by Dan Saliamua. It'd be a loss. Let's find out about the flag, though.
Ball start, number 88, offense, before the snap. 5 yards, first down.
Dead ball foul against Clarence Kay, the tight end from Georgia.
Well, number 55, Irvin Randall, is making a start today for Tracy Simeon. And, you know, Simeon and Dino Hackett, the 2 inside linebackers, you don't hear their names as much as the outside guys, Martin and of course, Derek Thomas, but they are just as important to this defense today because they will have to stop that inside running game. Gaston Green, as fast as he is, he still likes to hit it up inside.
1st and 15, back at the 28. And play action for Elway. He's got a receiver, Ricky Natile, and it's complete inside the 20, down to the 17. And we remind you at the conclusion of today's contest, we will be presenting the Avis We Try Harder Award. It'll be given to the game's MVP. And usually whatever it takes for Dan Reeves to beat Marty Schottenheimer, and he's beaten him 7 out of 8 meetings. John Elway finds a way to get it done. A 19-16 win 4 weeks ago. And he converted to keep the drive alive on a 3rd and 17. Elway with trouble with Neil Smith on him, throws it away. Heads up play by Elway.
Now the crowd's wanting a penalty on Elway for throwing the ball away, but I don't think they'll have it called because he had a guy in the corner of the end zone. But Elway is so good when he gets down inside the 20. They're 3rd in the NFL in scoring once they get in there. 31 of 34 possessions. They've gotten some type of points, whether it's a touchdown or field goal. But Elway will not do anything to take them back out of this zone. He knows once he gets down here, he's got to make it happen.
The Kansas City defense, though, has been spectacular inside their own red zone. And now it's 3rd and 4. Elway has it batted down. He wanted Derek Russell. Albert Lewis timed it perfectly. Elway wanted the call coming over the shoulder.
Well, he
Lewis
did.
made a spectacular play, though.
Well, Lewis looks like he is back all the way from that knee. We talked about the 2 corners coming back from injuries. And what is good about this is you see Lewis in man-on-man coverage. What that does, that is a great play by a great player. I don't see how you can call a penalty on that. And that's the thing. If Kansas City is able to cover these guys man-on-man, Elway won't have anyone to throw to.
Treadwell tries a 35-yard field goal. He's already hit from 37. It's partially deflected, and it stays only a 3-point Denver lead. It looked like Billy Moss may have gotten a piece of it.
Well, last week he had 2 kicks blocked. He said the worst thing a kicker can hear is a thump after you kick it. Well, he's heard 3 thumps in a row now.
We'll come back. Another look at the field goal try by Treadwell. Denver still up by 3. Got through to get a hand on it. And that was the difference. Denver comes up empty after a long drive, and DeBerg is slammed to the turf. Simon Fletcher on a 1st down pass try for the Chiefs.
Simon Fletcher, one of the finer pass rushers in the AFC. And, you know, here it says 7.5 sacks. Well, you say, well, Kroll's got a lot more sacks. Well, Fletcher has an awful lot more pressures, and really he probably is a more accomplished pass rusher at this stage. He just runs by the tight end. The tight end had no chance on blocking him. And that's what Kansas City doesn't want to do, get in long yardage against this defense.
Now they're looking at 2nd and 16 back at the 14. DeBerg throwing into double coverage, and the receiver took it away. It's Barnett. Barnett on his way. Only Atwater can get him. And Atwater has him inside the 25. What a break for DeBerg in Kansas City.
Well, no sooner than you talk about Kansas City doesn't like to be in long yardage, they go and break a play like this. That was a gutsy throw by DeBerg. Barnett surrounded by people. Here the corners walked up. They're going to get a little bump on him. They're in a tailgate position. DeBerg just throws it in between 3 Bronco defenders. Barnett just runs away from him.
It looked like Demery had the pick.
It probably went through his hands. It did look like he played for the pick and didn't get it. There Atwater traces him down as a safety.
Best penetration of the day for Kansas City at the 23 of Denver. 1st down. Harvey Williams into the secondary. Leaping tacklers inside the 15. A yard short of the 1st down.
We'll take a look at this, and DeBerg saw a safety blitz coming, and he didn't audible out of it. His receiver, Burton, out to the left, is screaming, safety blitz. He knows the safety from the right here has walked up. Just a great cut by Harvey Williams, getting behind that big surge of the offensive line. Those guys don't try to knock you off the line. They just try to get you going sideways and let those backs cut off their tails.
Jones and Okoye back in there on 2nd, a little more than a yard. They've got it with Christian Okoye.
Christian Okoye, the ball carrier.
Chiefs have been phenomenal this year inside the red zone.
He was tackled by Ron
On 30 trips inside the 20-yard line, 20 touchdowns. That is an incredible percentage.
Well, a lot of times when you stretch the field out and you can throw the ball and do different things, a lot of teams are more effective. But, you know, the guys that have real strong personnel, big linemen, big backs, big tight ends that can control linebackers, these teams traditionally do well down inside the 20, getting touchdowns, because that's where you really have to more or less slug it out to get to that end zone.
We check in now on the Budweiser 10-minute ticker. Green Bay has taken the lead now over Minnesota. Jets still clinging to that touchdown lead, while Cincinnati's on the board at Philadelphia. And Atlanta on top by 10 against Tampa Bay. Kansas City looking for their first points of the day, trailing by 3 with under 7 minutes left in the first half. And they've got it 1st and 10 at the 13. Okoye slamming his way inside the 10, down to the 6. Sheer power by the Nigerian Nightmare.
Well, he gave Mike Brooks a little bit of a headache You know, Corey, he'll just go ahead and rock you in there when he hits the pile. You'll see Brooks gets onto him right there. Now, 56 is a great linebacker against the run. He carries him 4 or 5 yards down the field. You know, you get a lot better idea of this surge. Boom, he's got 2 guys. The corner tries to get a shot on him. Brooks tries to get a shot on him. They just get carried towards the paint.
Okay, breaking tackles. He's in. Touchdown, Kansas City. Covered 7 yards, and Okoye was not to be denied.
Well, I think we're seeing him right on a mission today. Up in Denver, he didn't get it done, and he said, I don't know what it is, but you can tell this guy wants to run the ball inside today, and he's got his mind made up to do it. Now watch the Denver defensive players. Watch how many guys will try to throw the bodies at him. There's Mecklenburg, one of the best. There's Fletcher from the outside. He just drags them all in.
Nick Lowry tries to make it a 4-point lead and does exactly that. 6 minutes, 7 seconds left in the first half. The showdown in the AFC Western Division, in Kansas City has the advantage.
Coverage of the National Football League is brought to you by Acura Automobiles. Experience precision-crafted performance. By Budweiser, the king of beers. With that clean, crisp, cold taste, nothing beats a Bud. By Radio Shack, America's technology store, nobody compares. And by new Tylenol PM, to relieve nighttime aches and pains that can keep you from sleeping.
This may be the only stadium in the NFL where they don't need seats. These fans rarely use them at Arrowhead in Kansas City. Joel Meyers along with Dan Hampton. Good to have you with us. This AFC Western Division showdown, the 7-3 Broncos, 7-3 Chiefs. And Russell waits for the kickoff from Lowry. And Lowry pumped up, as well as the crowd in Kansas City. So a touchback. And when Elway, the offense, take over, they'll have it 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. Somebody missed opportunities for Elway and that Denver offense so far. Talk about being focused. Safe to say he was focused, Okoye, on the last one.
Well, he was focused, and if you're an NFL linebacker, that's a stare that will not make your day down on the goal line.
Chiefs by 4. There's 6:01 left in the first half. 1st and 10 from their own 20. Gaston Green trying to turn the corner. Angles it in for a little more than 3. They had some luck on that last drive with Green on the ground. But it's been a story of missed opportunities in the first half so far for the Denver Broncos. Irvin Randall making that stop, the former Tampa Bay Buccaneer. But don't forget, the first 2 drives for Denver started in Kansas City territory at the Kansas City 40 and then the Chiefs 23. Then after that long drive that started back at their own 20-yard line, 14 plays and a blocked field goal by Billy Moss.
We'll look for Elway to go ahead and try to get that running game going again.
Second and a long 6, close to 7. Elway with time for one of the few times. Michael Young hanging on. It was Albert Lewis trying to strip it away. It's a 1st down for Denver. 13 yards on the completion. Another look at the Budweiser 10-minute ticker. And Washington continues to roll. They can wrap up a playoff spot if there was any doubt before with a victory today. Everything else the same. And now Atlanta gets a safety. The lead by 12.
Well, Mike Shanahan, the offensive coordinator for Denver, realizes, hey, I guess I'm going to have a hard time running against these guys unless I go ahead and back those linebackers out of there and keep those safeties off the line of scrimmage. So Elway's going to go ahead with that run-pass mix. 1st down from the 37, delay to Green.
Big play by the linebacker, Dino Hackett. Played off the block well to make this stop. 4-point lead for the Chiefs. Let's check in now with Bob Costas.
Joel, the Bengals are significant underdogs at the Vet in Philly against the Eagles, but they lead 7-0. A backpedaling Boomer Esiason off the play-action fake finds the great veteran James Brooks, so versatile running the ball, or in this case as a receiver. The 16-yard play puts the Bengals up 7-0. Joel?
Thank you, Bob. Exactly 4 minutes and counting now. Left in the first half at Arrowhead in Kansas City. Elway, delay. And Green does a nifty job. He's on his way inside the 40. Can they catch him? Cherry has the angle. He won't get there. Touchdown, Gaston Green in Denver. 60 yards on the run.
Joe, when we talked to Gaston Green yesterday, we said, what do you think about when you play on AstroTurf? He says, I think about being fast again. And this guy is fast, but you know, you get a fast guy, he gets faster on AstroTurf. Here you'll see just a little bitty kind of a sprint draw. Green starts it to the right, bends around Salamu. He had good penetration and then breaks it back against the grain. Now, when this guy gets out in the open field, not many can catch him. Just great cuts. And now you can't make cuts like that on grass. This turf gives you so much more traction, and he uses it.
Treadwell in for the point after. Gets that one up in time. The Chiefs can't get a hand on the ball, and now in a big turnaround in a hurry. After the 60-yard touchdown run by Gaston Green, it's a 3-point Denver lead with 3:47 left in the first half. Talk about team unity. The Denver Broncos into that run by Gaston Green. Gary Kubiak loving it every step of the way. And you'll also see number 27 coming through. From the defensive side, Steve Atwater out of Lutheran North High School in the St. Louis area before he was an Arkansas Razorback. So he's back home basically in the state of Missouri. Short kick. Harvey Williams running up to get it at the 16. And Williams hit down in a hurry near the 28. Well, Gaston Green already has 95 yards on 10 carries today. The last time he performed on AstroTurf, as he sits next to Bobby Humphrey, who was inactive last week and still waiting for his call from the casting director. Gaston Green had 158 yards on the turf at Minnesota. He loves running on the artificial surface.
Well, you know, he's been around for a while, but he is really like a rookie. I mean, if he was a used car, you'd see the ad in the paper. It'd say 88 model, low mileage, great condition, a real sweetheart. And I think he's been a real sweetheart for Denver today. Good
point, because Gaston Green has more carries this year than he had in the 3 years combined with the Los Angeles Rams. Talk about fresh legs. The dump off. That is the first time they have thrown on first down today, and it pays off. Harvey Williams gets 7 to the 35. And we were talking to Harvey Williams about the compliment that he lends in the backfield. Christian Okoye was in the room as well. And then all of a sudden he started thinking, maybe I better not call myself that Ferrari. And all of a sudden he looked at Christian and he goes, I'm the pickup truck, buddy. Williams has it. There goes the pickup truck for a first down to the 39.
Well, if this guy's a pickup truck, he's had a little motor work done. Because this guy, it remains to see what kind of mileage he can get. But
it's not a stock engine.
No, definitely not.
There's the other two. They are so deep. The New York Jets deep as well at the running back position. Kansas City Chiefs right up there with the Jets in that department. DeBerg throws it away, and it's picked off. Michael Brooks on the deflection. The linebacker has it. And the second interception of Steve DeBerg already this afternoon gives the ball back to Denver in Kansas City territory.
Well, we talked about how Denver says, hey, if we don't do anything else, we've got to get the ball back from these guys. Kansas City doesn't turn it over much. Well, DeBerg has already turned it over twice. You'll see Simon Fletcher coming from the top of your screen, number 73, turning the corner there. Now, that is not a sack, obviously, but the pressure gives them something better than a sack, a turnover. And that's how you do it. You create opportunities by putting pressure on people.
Dan, so often defensive coaches will tell you they'd rather have the hurry because it can lead to that turnover, the interception.
Well, a sack is a great play on third down and even on first down, but I tell you what, pressure leads to more turnovers than sacks do.
So for the third time this afternoon, the Broncos start a drive in Kansas City territory at the 47. The blitz was coming. Right up the middle, it was the linebacker, Irvin Randall. The running back, Lewis, tried to get a chip, a little block on him, but Elway still had to release early.
Well, Bill Cowher thinks that Elway is a guy that can kill you. Now, obviously, when he's in the pocket, he's a great quarterback. But when he gets out and makes things happen on the flanks by rolling in that moving pocket, he's awesome. And I think you're going to see Kansas City try to create indecision in Elway's mind by blitzing different people and trying to keep them off balance.
2nd and 10. Inside the 47, Steve Sewell. Doesn't get out of the backfield. Neil Smith, the former Nebraska Cornhusker. First-round draft choice back in '88 for Kansas City with a big play. Well, so often we heard over the last couple of years that Neil Smith didn't show up on every down. I think the critics are being silenced to a certain extent this year.
Well, Neil Smith is a guy that's still on the come. I mean, you talk about guys that have been around for a few years. You say, well, he's not really that big of an impact player. Well, I think this is the first year that he's starting to tap that potential, and he's only going to get better the next 10 years.
The 2-minute warning has arrived at Arrowhead in Kansas City. Denver's got the ball in a 3-point lead up at halftime. It's the Domino's Pizza NFL Live halftime report. 3rd and 11 from the 48. Elway in trouble. Do they have their 6th sack? No. Is it taken in? Jackson had it skip into his breadbasket. An incomplete pass. Jackson wanted the reception, but it's incomplete.
Well, Dan Reeves can't believe it wasn't a completion. But we talked a minute ago about how Elway in the pocket's good, but on the outside, he's super. He makes things happen that most everyone else in the league can't make happen. Here you'll see how he sees the field. Now, all of a sudden, Neil Smith swims his guy. He's right in his face. They've got a corner blitz on. Elway gets out, buys enough time to throw the ball to Jackson. And there, it looked to me like it was a completion, but my eyes aren't so good, you know.
Broncos may want to take their time before they punt the ball away. Will it be reviewed?
Yes, it looks like they've gotten orders from the sideline and Dan Reeves to say, hey, let's wait and let those guys have another look at this. Well, it's hard to say. I would have to think that that's a catch, but the official was within 5 yards of it, so I think it's obvious that they're going to disallow it. Jackson saying, hey, throw it in. Oh, that, I don't know. It's trapped.
That does look like it's trapped on that angle.
From that angle, you could tell it was trapped. Good call by the official.
Moran has it go off the side of his foot. A break for Kansas City. They've got all 3 of their timeouts left, and now they get the ball back in outstanding field position after only a 19-yard punt by Mike Moran.
You know, kickers are so temperamental. I mean, you could say something to them and disrupt their train of thought or get them kind of mad at you. Well, when they sent the punting unit out there, he was probably all focused, ready to make, you know, a great kick. Then when they call the play back into the huddle and everybody huddled up, it broke his concentration. And there's nothing wrong with the snap or anything. That was just bad kick by Horan.
They took a long time trying to get the review.
Exactly.
They also took a delay of game call, an extra 5 yards, and it hurt Horan. It's 1st and 10 at the 29 for Kansas City. So Chiefs are down by 3. Pressure on DeBerg. They got the screen from McNair. Running past his blockers, he's got a 1st down across the 43. Well, the one thing that has slowed down Kansas City more than anything else, turnovers. And who would have believed that? They were turnover-free in 3 of their last 4 games. They have already had 2 DeBerg passes picked off. As we look at the Budweiser 10-minute ticker. But Kansas City, and we talked about it, Dan, at the top of the telecast, leading the NFL in the plus-minus ratio at a +17. Already a -2 today, though. Well, Denver did not pick up a turnover against L.A. in their loss to the Raiders last week, and they already have 2 now. So Wade Phillips, the defensive coordinator's group, coming up with a big play. Now 1st and 10 for DeBerg. And he's got a wide open Tim Barnett and overthrows the wide receiver.
You know, it's kind of funny that what pressure can do for a defense. There, DeBerg goes back to his normal drop, 8-9 yards. Well, Fletcher Mecklenburg coming around the back door makes DeBerg scoot up about 3 or 4 yards into the pocket. DeBerg throws the ball. What a coincidence. It's about 3 or 4 yards too far. And that was caused by pressure. You'll see him having to scoot way up into the pocket. Now let's see how far this was overthrown. Maybe if we can't get that shot right now due to coming back on the ball, but it was about the same distance he moved in the pocket.
2nd and 10 from the 43. Still 3 timeouts left for DeBerg and the Chiefs. And a diving grab by Rob Thomas. He has been the unknown factor for the Chiefs this year. Without Emil Harry, without Stephon Page. Page now lost for the year, just underwent knee surgery on Friday. And Rob Thomas has come through in the clutch time and again. He gets 8 on that reception, so they're still going to be looking at 3rd and 2 when we come back. As the Chiefs just used their first time out, they've got 2 left with 1 minute and 17 seconds. Welcome back to Kansas City. Joel Meyers along with Dan Hampton, and a question for Wade Phillips. Does he go with the dime package, or does he look for the run and try to stuff it with a lot of people up on the line of scrimmage, Dan.
Well, he's going with regular people here, so that means that they're kind of, he's got the dime in. It's a spread offense.
3rd and 2, and DeBerg will work out of the shotgun. Has time and has a man wide open, J.J. Burton. Burton has to hang on and does so. 1st and 10 at the 25. 23 yards on the catch.
Well, Burton's a guy that can make the big play. You know, the receivers are such that, they'll count a possession guys. Well, Burton's not. He can possess the ball and get in the end zone.
Kansas City uses another timeout as we come back to Arrowhead Stadium. 23-yard average last year, 18 this year, and he picks up the first down, Dan.
Well, he just runs up underneath the safety in the zone, behind the linebacker. DeBerg throws a good ball to him.
First down outside of the 25. One timeout left now for Kansas City. A little more than a minute left. The middle screen for McNair. McNair still on his feet to the 16. And I believe he's just short of the first down. They've got to save that last time out. They'll go with a no huddle. Under 50 seconds left in the first half as Kansas City trails by 3. DeBerg into the corner. Burton held up by Dennis Smith. No flag on the play, though, as DeBerg took a lick at the end of it.
Well, Denver's brought in Brian Sochet. He's in there for some inside push in that pass rush, and he got it that time, forcing DeBerg to go ahead and unload deep in the end zone. But, DeBerg throwing 2 picks today is kind of strange, because if you look at his career, the first 12 years, Joel, he had thrown 28 interceptions. The last 2 years, he was minus 28 in turnovers his first 12 years. His last 2 years, he's plus 26. So, this guy, he's been able to manage the football so well, and he's not going to put him in a bad position.
8 of 14, 170 yards. The delay give up the middle. McNair doesn't get much. They're to the 14, and he's got the first down. So they pick up the first down. They've got to hurry. Under 30 seconds remaining in the first half. One timeout left. Pocket holding up well. DeBerg has Thomas. Thomas to the 5. Now they've got to stop the clock. And they use their final timeout with the ball close to the 2-yard line.
Thomas does a good job of just going out and running a little hook pattern. DeBerg unloads him the ball. Lined up in the slot, number 81. He sees the corners back off of him. He says, quick, throw it to me. Let me make something happen. You hear about possession receivers. Well, that's what they do. They get open and they catch the ball when you have to have someone catch it.
Has he ever turned out well for a 6th-round draft choice back in '89, his 3rd year from Oregon State? That's his 2nd catch on the drive. He's the leading receiver for the Kansas City Chiefs, Rob Thomas. And now, with no timeouts remaining, do you take a chance and try to run the ball? I don't think they can.
Well, they're bringing in Barry Word and Christian Okoye. So it looks like even if they don't run it, they're going to try to give the impression that they will.
But, Dan, do they have enough time to get off a second play if they're stuffed on that first try if they go on the ground?
Well, I'm sure that's what DeBerg's saying. Hey, we've got 16 seconds. If we don't get in the end zone, everybody get back and line up. So we can go ahead and try to kill the clock.
Spike the ball and stop it.
Exactly. We've got to kill it if we don't make it.
Barnett and Thomas are the wide receivers. Jones and Okoye in the backfield. 1st and goal outside the 2. DeBerg with pressure coming, and it's knocked away with a flag down to the end zone. Word was there. Also Barnett.
Uh-oh.
12 men on the field. 12 men on the field. Defense.
Makes it a little bit easier to get the job done.
Well, it's kind of a snap to stop people when you got an extra guy out there.
They do lose 4 seconds on the clock, though.
Well, like I said, they didn't run the ball, but they brought those big guys in trying to give infer that they were going to go ahead and run the ball. But that was a good call. DeBerg wanting to go ahead and try to throw the ball into the end zone off of play action. So I think we'll probably see about the same thing here. But
now you're only a yard away.
Exactly. He can give it to Okoye. He can just fall in.
He is throwing into the corner. Barnett has it go over his hands.
You know, and I've got to question that. I mean, here you've got one of the biggest, strongest players to ever carry the football in the history of the game, and you don't give him a chance down there inside the 2-yard line. Don't understand that.
Tyrone Braxton walked Tim Barnett all the way back to the huddle as Lowry comes onto the field. With boos in the background, they wanted one more try at the end zone with 8 seconds remaining. So Nick Lowry will try to tie it up for Kansas City before the intermission. It'll be less than an extra point try. It'll be a 19-yard field goal attempt. Out of the hold, the punter, Brian Barker. The exchange is clean, and it is all even in Kansas City. Only 3 seconds off the clock, 5 seconds left in the first half, so the Chiefs will have to kick it away. And so similar to the first matchup between these two teams, when it was tied at 16 with 3 minutes left in the game before Treadwell won it with a 22-yard field goal. And don't forget, coming up at halftime, it's the Domino's Pizza NFL Live halftime report. Bob Costas, Bill Parcells, O.J. Simpson in the studio. And Bill Parcells is going to be talking about the declining level of talent in the NFL. So stay tuned for NFL Live. All the scores and highlights. As it's the Chiefs 10 and the Broncos 10. Looking down the road for these two teams, both most of their duty the rest of the way on the road. Elway and Denver at Seattle next Sunday. We'll be at that game, Dan. But they have a last place schedule, so there is a huge advantage over the last 5 games for the Denver Broncos as opposed to the Kansas City Chiefs, who still have to match up with the Raiders and the San Francisco 49ers. The squib kick. It'll be taken by Steve Sewell. And that's the way the first half comes to a close as Saxon was in on the tackle. So exactly what we expected, a very tight affair at Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City. And it took the offensive units a while to get going, Dan.
Well, I think the defenses were playing so well early, and then after they made some adjustments, the offense started moving the ball against both defenses. So, I don't know.
We'll be right back with the Domino's Pizza NFL Live halftime report and a word from the National Football League. Also a message from your local station. It's even at halftime. Missed opportunities for the Denver Broncos 3 times, Dan. They started drives inside Kansas City territory, only came up with 3 points on those 3 drives.
Well, we talked at the top of the show how defense could take center stage, and it has. Kansas City's defense has sacked Elway 5 times, hit him a bunch of other times, and virtually kept their team in this game by themselves.
It has been a very average first half. On the other hand, for Steve DeBerg, he's been intercepted twice, easily could be 3, as Barnett made that big play, taking the ball away from Charles Dimry in the secondary. So let's see if DeBerg gets it together. He's had some big plays, big long pass plays with Barnett and Rob Thomas. But average for the most part as Harvey Williams bobbles the kickoff. And he takes it to the 25-yard line. We were just talking about those possessions for the Denver Broncos. Their first 2 drives starting in Kansas City territory. That second one to the 23 where they got the 37-yard field goal from David Treadwell. And then finally, their only touchdown came on a long drive that was kept alive by the way of a penalty. And Dan, the numbers after the first 30 minutes of play.
Well, that's the thing. You look over there at the turnovers. See, 2 for Kansas City, that's uncharacteristic. DeBerg has not thrown many interceptions, and that's basically kept them out of the, I mean, they should be running away with this thing right now.
Start with Williams in the backfield. He gets the call, and he's got blocking to the outside. Almost a first down. Barnett blocking the cornerback on the outside who thought he was held, and that was Wyman Henderson.
Well, Carl Mecklenburg, the inside linebacker, shows that he still can run. Here he's just unblocked, just turns and runs down the field. Now there's a late offensive lineman there coming off to get him, John Alt, the left tackle. Mecklenburg just runs by him and makes the play on the out-of-bounds marker. But still, that's a 10-yard game virtually, and Denver can't be giving those up right and left.
Marty Schottenheimer told us yesterday first down is so important for us, but that first down netted 9 yards, second and a yard. Harvey Williams again bouncing to the outside. Dimry horsecolors him down. But he's got the first down close to the 40-yard line.
Well, this is a good move by Kansas City, coming back with Harvey Williams, going to go ahead and stretch that defense and attack those flanks. We saw Harvey go left, make big yardage. Then we see Harvey go right, make big yardage. See, watch the offensive lineman here. You'll see him just come out, try to stretch those defenders and let Harvey use his speed. If they stay backdoor, he runs outside. If they go ahead and try to force a play by going across the blocker, then he cuts back. Very smart ball carrier, this Harvey Williams.
Asked him the biggest difference between LSU last year and the pros this year. Said it's the film room. I never had to worry about the defensive units when I played for the Tigers of LSU. Now I sit in the film room and I've got to study defenses. As DeBerg has to use the timeout very early in the second half. Not even 90 seconds gone by in the third quarter, and that could be costly down the road for the Kansas City Chiefs.
ABC Sports coverage of the National Football League is brought to you by Oldsmobile, the power of intelligent engineering. By the card, the American Express card. Don't leave home without it. By Liberty Mutual. We're our customers' advocate at Liberty Mutual because we understand the costs involved. And by Hertz. We never forget who made us number one. We're Hertz. We're America's wheels.
They love it in Kansas City. Fortunately, it's not 20 below for those gentlemen out there. It's about 55, close to 60 degrees. Pleasant afternoon, and the rain has stayed away, fortunately, from Arrowhead Stadium. First down, Christian Okoye takes it from the 39 out to the 42, a gain of about 3 yards. Looking back now in the first half possessions for the Kansas City Chiefs, they did not enjoy the great field position that the Denver Broncos had. In fact, the first 3 times they had the ball, only a total of 13 plays. So the average drive for Kansas City started at their own 27-yard line compared to the average drive starting at the 41 for the Denver Broncos. Call it 2nd and 7. DeBerg in trouble, dumps it off for Rob Thomas. Thomas trying to get away and does so for an extra 3 out to the 48. Braxton had him by the jersey.
Well, we just saw Rob Thomas make a great individual effort down by the goal line before the end of the half. Here's another one. DeBerg just throws in the ball. He fights, twists, struggles, trying to get some extra yardage here. And, you know, you hate to say possession receiver. Hey, this guy and a lot of guys around the league, I mean, they don't like being called that, but that's what you look for, a guy that can catch the ball and make something happen and not the bad thing happen.
And now can the Chiefs make something happen on 3rd and less than 2? Okoye has more than enough into the secondary, into Denver territory. And Okoye takes it to the 37 of the Broncos, 14 yards on that ramble.
Well, we talked about Okoye, how he'll just go ahead and rock that middle of the defensive line. Rock it left, rock it right, rock him in there. Man, this guy can rock you to sleep. Watch him. You'll see Mecklenburg coming out fighting with the right guard. Tries to go back door. Okoye just runs right through the hole, never even sees Mecklenburg.
Christian had 96 yards on the ground against the Rams last week. Play action for DeBerg on 1st down with pressure coming. It's Thomas. Great grab inside the 25 for another 1st down. And DeBerg had to unload it.
Mecklenburg coming up the middle on a blitz versus DeBerg to go ahead and throw the ball on the out pattern a little bit prematurely. You see him trying to step away from the heat there. But Thomas has almost single-handedly got this offense going again here in the second half.
Don't forget 15-year veteran Steve DeBerg out of San Jose State. Had a basically average first half, throwing 2 interceptions. It could have been 3. As Thomas has 5 catches now for a total of 82. DeBerg came into the game ranked 3rd among AFC quarterbacks. Only behind.
Pass is ruled on the field. Replay is reviewing the play.
DeBerg behind only Jim Kelly and Bernie Kosar among AFC quarterbacks.
Well, we'll look at it here and see what the official gets to look at. That looks like NFL football to me. Great throw, great catch.
Another angle.
And the NFL officials agree.
So the play stands as called on the field.
Please reset the 45-second clock to 21. 21.
It'll be a first down at the 22 for Kansas City. And the delay to get the play clock set up. And they finally do to the 21-second mark. This is the 7th play of the drive. It started back at the Chiefs' 25-yard line. Rob Thomas, the key receiver. He is on the sideline now as Okoye gets it on first down. And there he goes again, banging his way ahead to the 10-yard line.
Okoye busting through that defensive line, getting into the secondary before the safeties can even react. Now, the game 4 weeks ago, the safeties made an awful lot of plays right at or near the line of scrimmage. Here, you see Okoye get on Dennis Smith, number 49, before he can even get up to the line of scrimmage. That's great blocking and just freezing those interior safeties where they can't really react. They're just back there playing safety rather than being aggressive.
3 carries, 27 yards on this drive alone. A total of 56 for Christian Okoye. And Williams, a single set in the backfield on 1st and 10 outside of the 10. DeBerg's first option not available. And he overthrows Stratford. It looked like Danny wanted to go to Barnett.
Well, Barnett was covered very well. And looking back to his left, he probably could have made a little bit better throw, but he had an awful lot of time, and that's a luxury that DeBerg will have today if Denver refuses to rush, only rushes 3 and even 4. The Kansas City offensive line, very underrated, and a lot of people don't realize they're such good pass protectors because they run block so well, but they give him an awful lot of time to make decisions back there.
Chiefs are trying to break a 10-all tie. 10-12 left in the 3rd. Williams, nothing available up the middle. Down to the 9, and that is it. Gain of about 1.5 yards.
He was tackled by Ron Holmes.
And now the 3rd down specialists start to come in for the Kansas City Chiefs after that solid defensive play by the Denver Broncos.
On the play, 3rd and 8.
Steve DeBerg will have to put it into the air. Coming into the game over the first 10 weeks, DeBerg had thrown only 5 interceptions. He's already got 2 today. And he goes with his 4 wideout set. On 3rd and long, 3rd and 8, they can still pick up a first down inside the 1-yard line. Pocket holds up, but Fletcher may have gotten a hand on DeBerg. It looked like Simon Fletcher got that big paw up there in time as it falls incomplete.
Well, DeBerg didn't have a whole lot of options that time. The 4 defensive backs rolled up and forced the receivers out. So DeBerg comes back trying to throw it into the middle, not able to get the ball to him. Once again, the pressure. Fletcher flashing around from the backside.
Nick Lowry now will try to break the tie. He tied it up at the end of the first half with a 19-yard field goal. This will be a 28-yard attempt. The hold of Brian Barker, the punter. And Kansas City regains the lead. So Lowry now 2 for 2 on the afternoon. The Chiefs lead it by 3 early in the 3rd quarter. 30 Eastern, a special interview on NFL Live with Bears coach Mike Ditka. They're at 8-2 after the first 10. One of the surprises. Many didn't think the Bears would win 8 of their first 10. And that precedes our big NFL doubleheader on NBC Sports next Sunday. Check your local listings for the game in your area for early, and then that big matchup at Soldier Field late. The Dolphins and the Chicago Bears. That's all next Sunday on NBC. Lowry ready to kick it away to Derek Russell and Elton Montgomery. They wait back inside the 5-yard line. Short kick this time by Lowry. Montgomery calling for it at the 10. Good coverage by the special teams in Kansas City as they nail him at the 27-yard line. So Elway in the offense get their first crack in the second half. Only 12 attempts in the first half for John Elway. Ground game with Gaston Green accounted for better than 100 yards, so that started to pay dividends in the second quarter. And Steve DeBerg in the second quarter started to throw the ball a little bit more on first down, but he has also been picked off twice. And the Chiefs have to be frustrated because that was an 11-play drive that just started, that just finished. Held over the ball better than 5 minutes and had to settle for 3 points. 13-10 Kansas City lead. 9:20 left in the third. Gaston Green.
Well, that was a play that we saw Gaston Green break for a touchdown in the first half. Played a lot better by the Kansas City defense. Instead of trying to go ahead and get off the blocks and rush outside, they more or less stayed home. You'll see Neil Smith, number 90, on the right side of your screen, stand up the offensive guard and just basically stay home, not give him a cutback lane to go ahead and break it back against the grain.
2nd and long. 2nd and 9. An equipment adjustment on the sideline for Gaston Green, as Greg Lewis is the only one behind Elway. The quick one, Kay can't hang on. Pearson on the coverage, but Clarence just simply dropped it.
Kansas City doing a few different things, moving Derek Thomas around. He started the playoff from the left side, trying to get him matched up with different offensive tackles. A guy like this, you try to let him be the impact player and everyone else kind of feed off of him. He's always making something happen, stripping the ball, getting a sack, making a big play down the field. Got to move him around and let him get on some of what we used to call those whipping posts. Try to get something easy.
He had 2 sacks in the first half. 5 overall for Kansas City's defensive unit. Can they come through here on 3rd and long? Elway has time, and it's out of the hands of Mark Jackson. He would have had enough by a couple of yards for the first down. Another drop of an Elway pass, though.
But Jackson usually very reliable as a receiver. Elway having plenty of time with Derek Thomas on his left double. That's a catch he makes 95% of the time.
Moran ready to punt it away. His last one in the first half only traveled 19 yards. That set up that tying field goal. Sends out a beauty this time. Stratford lets it go over his head, and it takes a Denver roll inside the 10. It's touched back around the 10-yard line. So a big play for the special teams, and in particular Mike Horan of the Denver Broncos. And when we come back, it was a 72-yard punt. The Chiefs were starting a big hole back in their own territory. At the Hurts 10-minute ticker, Washington continues to roll towards their 11th straight victory in a playoff spot already. Still tied at the Hoosier Dome in Indianapolis. Green Bay maintaining that 7-point advantage, while the Jets go up on top in a big way over New England. And Atlanta doing a number on Tampa Bay. Welcome back to Kansas City. Joel Meyers along with Dan Hampton. First down from the 10. Okoye gets the call. The play is stuffed after a gain of a yard at the 11. So Christian Okoye with some big runs on that last drive. They produced 3 points in the lead for the Kansas City Chiefs, who stopped on first down on the next possession. 57 yards. That's a very successful day when you consider that Christian Okoye in 6 games coming into this contest against Denver had only 181 yards against the Broncos defense.
But Denver changing some fronts, or moving their safeties up and back.
2nd and 9. Short drop. Check that. Bill Jones trying to get out of the backfield between the linebackers. Tangled up. No flag, though.
Well, DeBerg wanted interference on Mecklenburg. Mecklenburg had been walking up on the line, getting up there on those guards, trying to stop that inside running game of the Chiefs. And then just before the snap, he and Dennis Smith, the safety, they'd kind of start backpedaling, getting back into their normal positions. Mecklenburg coming back, he was able to get over there and get a good jam on that tight end. This guy right here, all he does is goes out each and every week and makes a bunch of big plays. A lot of things you can't tell if you just look at stats. Plays like that.
And now a huge third down for Kansas City. Otherwise, they've got to punt it from their own end zone. 3rd and 9. DeBerg throwing it off the shoulder pad of the defensive back, Wyman Henderson. So a breakdown in communication there, but pressure again coming on Steve DeBerg.
Mecklenburg lining up as a right end. Bull rushed on Big John Alt, the left tackle, and then at the end just kind of jumped over him, getting up into DeBerg's vision.
And a little mini victory early in the second half for the Denver Broncos in that war for field position. Barker from his own goal line hangs up a high one. Vance Johnson waiting to the 45. Johnson with a nice return all the way to the Kansas City 40-yard line. So that's where Denver, trailing by 3, will start with the ball when we come back on their second offensive series in the second half. Welcome back once again to Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City. Joel Meyers along with Dan Hampton. And a drive starting in Kansas City territory for the 4th time today for the Denver Broncos. At the Chiefs' 40-yard line. Let's see if they can capitalize finally. Trailing by 3. Gaston Green had a big first half. Did he turn the corner? No. The defensive back coming up big. Porter making the stop.
Well, Porter makes a great play here because he plays the lead block by Perriman off with his hands, able to go ahead, stretch it out to the sideline, and make the tackle. You know, Kansas City used to be so dominant in their defensive secondary. Well, through the draft, they've gotten some guys to help them. Watch Porter, 27, play off Perriman, a very fine blocker as a fullback, and make the play for a yard gain. That's all pro defensive backfield is making an awful lot of good things happen today.
2nd and 9. Inside the 39. Pressure on Elway. Finds a man over the middle. It's Michael Young on the reception. He is short of the first down. Inside the 32. Well, you talked about Rob Thomas, a good possession receiver. Michael Young, great hands for Denver.
I mean, it's a mirror image over for Denver here. Chris Martin coming around the back door. Elway more or less pump fakes him in the air. Then when he starts coming down, he throws it over his head. You'll see Young getting in here between a couple of defenders, just getting the ball in, getting it down.
Need just a little bit more than a yard as Young came up. Looked like he may have turned his ankle.
Watch the keeper. There it is.
John Elway. He's got the first down inside the 30. Derek Thomas on the stop. John Elway, 5 rushing touchdowns this year for the Denver Broncos, more than any of the running backs for the Broncos. He does not mind taking a hit.
Well, I think what you're seeing is Elway saying, hey, last year was a bad season. A lot of things were bad. I'm going to do everything I can to make this team successful. And sometimes he just says, hey, I'm the man. I'm going to make it happen. And 5 touchdowns, I think, kind of bears that out.
1st and 10 to the 29. Elway just gets rid of it. Green in the neighborhood, so no grounding as Elway took a shot at the end of the play. But when we talked with John yesterday, he was so positive. He said, hey, we were 3-7 last year. We're coming into this game at 7-3. This is not the end of the world if we don't win this game, and with good reason, because they've got a last place schedule. When you look down the road for the Denver Broncos, they're at Seattle, then they've got New England, Cleveland, Phoenix, and San Diego. Much easier schedule than what's left for Marty Schottenheimer in Kansas City, with Cleveland coming up, then Seattle, San Diego, San Francisco, and the Raiders. So it truly isn't the end of the world if they don't come out on top today. 2nd down now from outside the 29. Pressure again. And Elway on the move into the end zone. Touchdown. Mark Jackson. Was he over the line of scrimmage, though, when he released the ball? I thought he was over the line of scrimmage. Touchdown, Denver. But did Elway cross the 29-yard line?
Well, the kicking team for Denver, if you're a Denver fan, you want to say, hey, guys, let's go. Hurry up. Get out there. You'll see here from our sideline view, getting out of pressure. Well, I tell you what.
Very close. Will there be a review of that play?
Those Denver guys are lined up. They're saying, hurry up.
They want to get the extra point underway right away. I've never seen a hurry-up extra point, but this is the first.
Those Kansas City guys are just dragging it back, saying, no way. We're going to look at this.
Now, remember.
Now, this is a view that we can't really see what we need to see. Elway being more or less crunched in the pocket by Moss and Thomas just gets out. It's hard to tell how far over the line of scrimmage he was. Well,
it did look like he was inside the 29, though, when he released the ball. That was the line of scrimmage.
Field, that the quarterback was not beyond the line of scrimmage. The play is being reviewed.
Well, that's self-explanatory. We'll take another look at this from the low sideline and see the ball snapped just inside the 30. Now you'll see Martin collapsing here, forcing him out. Elway scrambling, trying to see a receiver. Oh, there's somebody. That ball's gone. Where is his feet? Now, I think that the ruling would have to be something like breaking the plane of the goal line. Was his body, was the ball breaking the plane of the line of scrimmage? Okay, now we can see his feet here. And now, you know, we are impartial viewers here, Joel, but I'd have to think that he's over. You know, Don Mikowski had a play like this up in Green Bay a couple of years ago that beat us. And it was a very controversial call, and the officials had some rule changes implemented that year.
After further review, the play stands.
Touchdown Denver and Mark Jackson.
Well, once again, Elway getting out of the pocket makes the big play. Marty Schottenheimer is getting sick of it.
He's been done in before. You're wondering why Jackson's hanging onto the ball. Well, he came into the game the leading receiver for the Denver Broncos, but he didn't have a touchdown catch until that last grab.
Well, the replay booth tells us now that there was inconclusive evidence to overturn the play called on the field. So, touchdown Denver.
And once again, a Denver lead of 4 points, 17-13 after the Treadwell extra point. So they finally capitalized on a drive that started in Kansas City territory. It started at the Chiefs' 40-yard line, 5 plays. And officially a 29-yard pass play to Mark Jackson for the touchdown. That one will be argued in the Kansas City area for a few days until the next play that is called as a reviewable play stands. Marty Schottenheimer has had his fill of John Elway and Dan Reeves. Great competition, but he's lost 7 of 8. Starting back with the Cleveland Browns, but he lost the championship game back on the 11th of January, 87. Then the championship game on the 17th of January, 88. That game at Denver. The only win for Marty Schottenheimer came last year on December 9th when it was a 24-20 lead for the Chiefs with about 4 minutes left. They had a 4th and 3 and decided not to go for the field goal at the 20-yard line of Denver. He didn't want to take any chances. Who can blame Marty Schottenheimer? They not only picked up the first down, they had a touchdown on that play for the coach.
Well, Kansas City's 3 for 13. I mean, they've won only 3 of 13 games the last 7 years. The big reason, John Elway.
Harvey Williams waits for the kickoff from Treadwell. So take it to the 5. And does a good job of ball security there, hanging on to it to the 26-yard line. So now the pressure returns to the Kansas City offense.
And another thing about that Elway play, I mean, obviously, he is one of the great quarterbacks in the game today. Everyone knows it. And I think he may get a few calls here and there. I mean, you know, if Joe Benchbreath ran the same play and threw it over the line, I'm sure that the officials would be watching a little bit closer. But, you know, a guy like Elway, they expect him to make great plays. And somehow he seems to make them all the time.
First down from the 26 of Kansas City. 4 minutes, 50 seconds left in the third. DeBerg has problems with the snap. And it's a loss on the carry for Harvey Williams. Craig into the backfield. Play really never got underway, though.
Well, Cragen was the reason why I never got underway. Grunhardt's an excellent center. Schottenheimer thinks he's his best offensive lineman right now. But you'll see Cragen just beats his block, jumps over him after Grunhardt tried to cut him at the end. Stops it in the backfield. And we saw Cragen play great up in Denver a couple of weeks ago, and he's doing a good job today.
Checking in once again on the Hurts 10-minute ticker. The Jets still controlling their contest. A must-win situation for New York. 4-point lead here for Denver. Off the fingertips, intercepted by Demery. He should be able to take it in. Touchdown Denver on the 3rd interception of Steve DeBerg this afternoon.
Well, DeBerg can't believe it. A tip ball results in a touchdown. Now, forget about throwing interceptions. he knows that that's a touchdown. It's going to be hard to make up. Here he goes back. He sees what he wants to see. He just says, hey, I'm going to destroy this. And just a bobbled ball. And part of the reason it was bobbled was such great coverage there.
He wanted to go to Pete Holohan, the Plan B signing from the Rams.
Well, Holohan right here with the guy on his tailgate. And, oh, you stretching for that ball. Wasn't able to get it. Tipped it right into his hands for the interception.
Treadwell has the extra point. And the defense, the last 2 times Kansas City has had the ball, has been coming up big for Denver. Kansas City had it. The previous possession at their own 10. It was 3 snaps and out. And now, as Kansas City had it at their own 26-yard line, the big play by the secondary again. And the touchdown for Dimry, a Plan B signing from the Atlanta Falcons last year in his 5th year from UNLV.
We talked about Denver wanting to get some turnovers. Well, they've gotten a whole cart full of them here. And some of the times, you know, you're lucky if you get interceptions. You know, you're in the right place. Well, today, I think they've been a little bit lucky, but a lot of the reason is they're making good plays on defense. They're getting pressure. They're getting good coverage. They're making DeBerg throw the ball where he doesn't really want to throw it. And so far, Denver's defense has done what they wanted to do when they got here. And that's get the ball for their offense.
Those 3 turnovers, Dan, have led to 10 of Denver's 24 points as they lead it by 11 now, 24-13. Last week it was a completely different story for the Kansas City Chiefs as they picked up 4 turnovers from the Los Angeles Rams, and that accounted for 17 of their 27 points in the victory. So what the Chiefs specialize in has turned against them today. It'll be Harvey Williams once again. Didn't we just see this a second ago? Williams to the sideline. And again, DeBerg in the offense, starting back in their own territory at the 25-yard line. It's the 4th time they've had the ball in the second half with 3:52 left in the 3rd. So only 5 interceptions over the first 10 games for Steve DeBerg, and 3 already today.
You know, Joe, when we played in Chicago on defense, we always wanted to put a lot of pressure on quarterbacks because you could tell by looking in their eyes, hey, you know, he's getting knocked down, you're sacking him, he's throwing interceptions. He becomes very unsure of what to do with the ball, where to go, who's he throwing to each and every down. And I'll tell you what, it kind of builds as the game goes on.
First down from the 25. Okoye carrying tacklers. He gets 7 to the 32.
You know, he'd make a great sled dog, wouldn't he? I can't believe it. He's dragging people around out here like he's got a rope on him. You know, Carl Mecklenburg, the fine linebacker, he's moving around a lot here. Now you'll see him here, the right tackle gets off and gets a good helmet on him. That keeps...
Okoye has the first down on 2nd and about 3. Out to the 38-yard line. Dan, it's very early. I would suspect that one thing the Chiefs don't want to do is panic. They want to stay with their original game plan.
Well, I don't think Marty Schottenheimer will panic. You know, since '85, I think he and Dick are the only guys that's had their teams in the playoffs at least 5 times. And you don't do that by being a seat-of-the-pants guy. You have a game plan, you stick with it. You've seen it right here. He's just going to run the ball.
Play action for DeBerg. Looking deep for Barnett. And it's intercepted by Atwater. Atwater's got it. It was up for grabs into double coverage. Actually, 3 D-backs on the play for the Denver Broncos. And it goes back to Elway and the offense at their own 22-yard line. So 5 all year and 4 today for DeBerg.
Well, DeBerg probably makes a decision he wishes he wouldn't have here. Deciding to go deep, not realizing that Atwater was all the way on top of the double zone there. Atwater just playing center field, watching DeBerg's eyes, goes over and makes an easy pick.
Well, I mentioned at halftime, Dan, that it was a very average first half. Despite some decent numbers in yardage for Steve DeBerg, it has been a disaster so far in the second half. In fact, Steve DeBerg in 444 passes last year for only 4 interceptions. He's got 4 in 24 attempts today. Green on first down. Gets 3 to the 26.
Well, DeBerg does an awful lot of film study, Joel. A lot of times you can kind of get faked out by that. You kind of think of the defense going to line up and play the same thing they played last time. Well, today we're seeing the Denver safeties off the line of scrimmage an awful lot more than they were 4 weeks ago. Atwater was a good 12 yards deep at the start of the play. Up in Denver, he was about 6 yards off, so he was able to get back and get on top of that. So a lot of times you can kind of get paralysis through analysis.
2nd and 7 from the 26. Green on the delay. They stuff it well. Gaston Green, a big factor in the first half. He had a 60-yard touchdown run. Ask Gaston if it's cold now, Gaston, during the course of the contest, will it affect you? He said, as far as I'm concerned, anything under 70 degrees is cold. Well, not bad, about 60 degrees today.
All you guys from LA would say that, though.
Another 100-yard rushing day. That is the 5th of the year for Gaston Green in only his 8th game. Big play. Kansas City's defense. Can they come through on 3rd and 7? Elway has a man. It's Jackson. Gets away for the first down across the 35. He was short by about 2 yards at the first down when he made the reception. Good run after the catch.
Well, it was a good run after the catch. You'll see him just run a little square out, get the ball. Now, this is where he likes the play. Hey, let me dodge this guy. Now you'll see Neil Smith come in and tomahawk chop him down from behind. Big play by Jackson.
A smile in your voice when you talk about the lineman who got in on the play.
The tomahawk. The fans use it. Why can't a player?
First down from the 37. Under 30 seconds left in the 3rd. Greg Lewis. And the rookie from Washington gets just about 3 to the 41.
Now, Denver talked yesterday, Joel, about how they're going to chip away at Derek Thomas. A great pass rusher, but he's a big factor on the run, too. Here, watch all the guys chopping on him, knocking on him, chipping on him, banging on him, keeping him occupied and letting those backs hit up in there. That's how you nullify a great talent like him.
That's the end of the 3rd quarter. A 3rd quarter where once again the Denver defense came up with a big play. Be back after these messages from your local station. Get the numbers through 3 quarters. 4 turnovers, the big difference. And yesterday, Dan, you remember when we spoke with Dan Reeves, the head coach for the Broncos, the very first thing out of his mouth, turnovers will decide the game. The very first statement he started with yesterday in our meeting. It's the difference so far. They lead it by 11 at the start of the 4th quarter. And they look at a 2nd and 6 from the 41. Gaston Green with blockers. Green into the secondary with a first down into Kansas City territory at the 40-yard line. Can he turn it on?
Well, Kevin Porter saved a touchdown there because, as we said earlier, some guys that are fast get faster on AstroTurf. You know, big, slow guys, hell, they're going to be slow. But those fast guys, they seem to get faster. And Gaston told us yesterday, hey, I don't like to play on it all the time, but when I do, I can use my speed.
The Denver experience has been a great one for Gaston Green. Told me his college days at UCLA after going to Gardena High School in the Los Angeles area, then on to the Rams. He never left home. It's been a great experience going to Denver.
Except for the snow.
First down from the 40. Gaston Green met at the line of scrimmage by Irvin Randall.
Well, he just hit the snow plow. Irvin Randall is making an impact today, getting the start for Tracy Seaman. But the thing is, hey, he can extend a couple of those after he breaks those long ones. Randall just forms up on him. I mean, you can show that at a coaching clinic. Great tackle.
The Miller Genuine Draft 10-minute ticker. Finally, O'Donnell and the Steelers get on the board. Chicago, after being tied at 10 with 2 unanswered touchdowns. Elway out of the shotgun. The shovel pass to Sewell, breaking tackles. He's got a first down inside the 30. All the way to the Kansas City 26. Everything going Denver's way now.
Well, Sewell's a guy that they bring in certain instances. You don't really expect him to run the ball like this. He can run the ball as well as anyone when he gets a chance to hit it up in there and get away from those big guys, the linemen. He likes to twist and turn and run over those safeties and corners. Oh, yeah, he likes it.
This is the 8th play of the drive for Denver. Started back at their own 23-yard line. Green again. Cutting it back nicely. Didn't look like anything was available. And he gets almost 7 down to the 20-yard line.
Gaston, one of those guys with the little pitter-patter feet, make these quick cuts. You'll see Sharp, number 81, cutting down on Derek Thomas there, keeping him out of the play. Today, Derek Thomas will earn his money in the NFL. He's going to have a lot of bodies come into contact with him.
It was a big first half for the Kansas City defensive unit. They kept the Chiefs in the game. After all those drives started in Kansas City territory, they had 5 sacks of John Elway. They have not been able to get the quarterback going in the second half so far. 12-10 left in the 4th. Second and short, Gaston Green. Chopped down by Billy Moss at the line. Falls forward for a yard to the 19.
Well, Bill Moss is a name we haven't called much today, but he's done a pretty good job of solidifying that right side of the defensive front. Looks like Irvin Randall,
who just came off the injured reserve list, activated for the first time today. Unfortunately, down once again for the Chiefs defensive unit. Be right back to Arrowhead.
This coverage of the National Football League is brought to you by the new Mazda. Mazda, it just feels right. By cold-filtered Miller Genuine Draft and Miller Genuine Draft Light, taking the country by storm. By Schick Tracer, it traces every curve on your face. And by First Brands Corporation, makers of STP gas treatment.
Critical 3rd down coming up now for the Chiefs defensive unit. 3rd and a little bit more than 2. Can they hold Elway?
Well, that's the thing.
Pressure comes. Thomas has him. 3rd sack of the day. And he may have just knocked them out of field goal range.
More than likely he did, Joel. When you talk about great players play great in the big games, and this is a big game. You'll see Thomas come from the left of your screen here. He just starts upfield. Harvey Salem, the left tackle, takes that head fake. He just dips underneath him. So quick on this turf, a big 300-pounder can't catch it.
3 sacks today for Derek Thomas, who has taken over the lead in the AFC. 6 sacks overall for Kansas City. And instead of trying a 49-yard field goal try for Treadwell, with an 11-point lead, Dan Reeves will play it safe. And Haran comes on the field to punt it away. Delay of game call. An extra 5 yards.
You know, Joel, sometimes when Thomas comes around the back door, the quarterback senses him and feels that pressure. But when you beat a guy on the inside move like that, the quarterback just panics. He can't run, he can't throw, he can't do anything. He just more or less has to eat the ball. And that's a move that you'd always try to see, you know, late in the game. Set the guy up outside all day, and then when you need a big play, take him inside. That time Thomas did it to perfection.
Time working against Marty Schottenheimer and the Kansas City Chiefs, though. 11-18 left in the contest. That drive doesn't produce points, but it took almost 7 minutes off the board for the Denver Broncos. It skips away from Haran. Kansas City will have it in Denver territory. Bad snap all the way.
Dan Reeves told us yesterday, hey, we practice the kicking game all the time. Last week they had 2 kicks blocked, earlier a kick blocked. The last time Haran tried to punt, he squibbed it off the left of his foot, and there, another miscue in the kicking game. And that's what will drive a coach into the, oh gosh, here, what? It was a bad snap. Haran had no chance. On this turf, that ball's hot, and it's hard to catch. He had no chance. It was a bad snap.
Now they go to the bullpen. Mark Vlasic takes over for Steve DeBerg at quarterback for Kansas City. He has been effective in a mop-up role when he has seen duty this year. First down from the 48. The dump off for Harvey Williams. Out of bounds at the 43. 5 on the reception. This is the first time today that the Chiefs have started with the ball in Denver territory. They have to capitalize in a big hurry, though.
Gain of 4 on the play. It's 2nd and 6.
So DeBerg throwing 4 interceptions. Kansas City had committed only 9 turnovers all year long, second fewest in the NFL, but 4 today. By way of the passes of Steve DeBerg. 2nd and 5. Didn't have a choice. Harvey Williams with Fletcher in the face of Vlasic, and a first down for Kansas City at the 36.
Well, Vlasic watched DeBerg in the first half when Simon Fletcher would blitz unblocked. He'd just dump it over his head to the back that Fletcher would normally be covering. Here, you see Fletcher coming. He says, okay, I'll just play catch with my running back and let him make the first down. Good move.
Mark Vlasic goes at 6'3", 205, finding Harvey Williams on 2 straight receptions. He's in his 4th year from Iowa, 4th-round draft choice of the Chargers in '87. Plan B signing for the Chiefs this year. Flags into the air. Looks like a dead ball foul. Procedure call coming up, I would believe, against Kansas City.
Ball start. Offensive line. 5 yards. Still first down.
With 10:10 left in the 4th, time for the 10-minute ticker. The Miller genuine draft 10-minute ticker. And another touchdown late for the Pittsburgh Steelers trying to make a run at the Washington Redskins. Touchdown for Indianapolis, trailing Chicago by only 7. Minnesota has overtaken Green Bay. Well, Philadelphia has increased their advantage.
Well, Marty Schottenheimer told us yesterday, you know, we've got to sweep our own carpet to win the division. Well, you better get the broom out and score on this one.
First down from the 41. Under 10 minutes left. The tight end, can he hang on? No. Mecklenburg all over Holohan.
A couple of old crafty veterans battling it out there. Mecklenburg timing the pass perfectly and hitting Holohan just as the ball gets there. You'll see him here just breaking out on his zone coverage, stripping it with his right arm. This guy, I mean, last week he blocked a kick, got a fumble, stopped a guy on the goal line. I mean, this is a pro football player's football player right here.
2nd and 10. Still to the 41. Williams, the only one in the backfield. 3 wide receivers setting up. Harvey Williams on the delay. He's inside the 35 to the 34.
Looks like Harvey may have sprained that ankle again. He's got some tape on it. We'll take a look at him. Those backs that really juke and jive like that, they'll sprain their ankle all the time because they make such hard cuts.
Be right back to Kansas City with 9:37 left. After throwing 4 interceptions, quarterback Steve DeBerg lifted by head coach Marty Schottenheimer, going with Mark Vlasic, 4th-year quarterback from Iowa. Interesting decision, Dan.
Well, Schottenheimer really likes Mark Vlasic. Said he's the quarterback of the future for the Chiefs. But, you know, sometimes if you get a quarterback in a rut, he's trying to force things like DeBerg was. It's best just to get him out of there.
So you agree with that decision?
Well, 4 interceptions, no touch. I mean, you got to go with someone else.
3rd and 8. Vlasic out of the shotgun, has time, and has a receiver. J.J. Burton has the first down on the key 3rd down reception. 18 yards on the catch for the 17.
See, that's a great case in point. Quarterbacks are, completely different. Some watch receivers, some watch tight ends. Well, Vlasic here picks out the receiver on a crossing underneath. Maybe DeBerg would have been looking at someone else who was covered. So sometimes you get another quarterback in there, he sees different things and is able to take advantage of them.
Denver leads by 11. Under 9 minutes left, and don't forget Kansas City used the timeout very early in the first half. Okoye on first down. Near the 10-yard line. He gets 7 on the carry.
Like we saw at the end of the second quarter, hey, it's down here where it's big man on big man, and they bring in the biggest of all, Okoye. This red zone, as it's called, it's hard to go ahead and pound it out for most teams down here, but for Kansas City, they do a great job because they got that big, strong line and those big backs.
Harvey Williams turned his left ankle, questionable whether he'll be able to return. Okoye going to the outside, short of the first down marker. picking up a couple to the 8. They need to take it just inside the 7. The clock continues to roll under 8 minutes left. Michael Brooks on the stop.
Now, Denver's done a pretty good job against Corey at times today. But the thing is, now it's getting late in the game. They're getting tired. Those arm tackles aren't going to work.
3rd and a yard.
Okay, he's checking off. He sees those guys in the middle. Watch him run a fade. There it is.
Going for Barnett. Touchdown, Kansas City.
Great throw and catch. Barnett.
Tim may have gotten away with one there.
Hey, it doesn't take him long to figure out how to play this game. He got away with a little bit of a push-off. But it's legal if they don't see it.
So the Chiefs are right back in it. Now Lowry on for the extra point. Tim Barnett with the touchdown reception.
You know, Reeves said, hey, this Barnett guy, you can't tell he's a rookie.
Lowry tries to make it a 4-point game and does so. Now, how much of a push-off did he get away with?
Well, we'll take a good look at it here. He's up in the bump and run. He's just trying to run that fade. Oh, got away with a little bit there.
Well, Demery had a pretty good hold on his jersey, too, though.
Well, I think it's tit for tat. A little hold on the line, and then he pushes him off.
So on his first drive of the afternoon, Mark Vlasic coming through in the clutch, a 48-yard drive. And the Chiefs starting with the ball for the first time in Denver territory all afternoon long. Capitalize on the opportunity.
Looks like playing a little homage there. The young guys sticking together, huh?
That was the center. Second-year man from Notre Dame, Tim Grunhard.
Well, you know they're close. They got somebody, his hands on your cheeks all day.
It's only a 4-point contest now. Denver 24. Kansas City 20. Coming in a pressure-packed situation. He hit a couple of big third-down passes.
He did. You know, like I said, if they're going to sweep the carpet, they got out the broom and a few extra trash bags. That was a big drive for Kansas City. The big thing is 1 touchdown versus 4 interceptions for Steve DeBerg. Now, DeBerg has been one of the big reasons why Kansas City's been a great football team the last couple of years. Some days it just is not your day. Today it looks like Denver had his number.
That was Vlasic's first touchdown pass since December of last season. He was the starting quarterback on opening day for the San Diego Chargers last year before they decided to go back to Billy Joe Tolliver. Montgomery and Russell waiting for the kickoff. It'll be Montgomery. Holds onto it, almost stripped it away. Washington almost stripped it inside the 20 as Montgomery takes it to the 22. Close to the 23, and now it's up to the defense.
This is amazing. Where's John Wayne when you need him? This crowd is crazy.
Seconds remaining. A 24-20 Denver lead. Perriman and Green in the backfield. Movement on the right side of the line. Flags on the play. It looked like the right side of the line lifted up early for the Denver Broncos.
Like we talked earlier, Elway gets some help on the first and second down play calling, and I think you're going to see Denver go ahead and try to pound it out a little bit, take the crowd back out of the game. They know if they get in a long yardage situation where Kansas City can get a sack, this place is going to be up for grabs. So they're going to go ahead and try to run it out, imagine, Joe.
Illegal motion, number 81, offense, 5 yards, still first down.
At the top of your screen, you'll see Sharp kind of wait to get a little. Neil Smith kind of flinched and drew him a little bit, but that's legal. Defense can move, offense can't.
So the the play is over. They'll play it over. It'll be 1st and 15. Now, do they take chances deep in their own territory? Gaston Green cut down by Porter.
The crowd loves it. Strong safety, Kevin Porter coming on a blitz. Makes the play in the backfield. You see at the top of your screen, 27 unblocked. Just dips underneath Perriman. Heck, there was somebody to count for him. He just makes a super play. Porter is having a great day, just like Deron Cherry did last week, Joe.
2nd and 18, inside the 15. With Johnson going in motion. Inside give. It's Steve Sewell. He's belted, hangs onto the ball after taking a shot from Deron Cherry, and goes down to the 22. Cherry coming off of what he told us yesterday, one of the best defensive performances he has ever put together. An interception caused a fumble last week that led to the game-winning points. Now, can they come through in the clutch once again on 3rd and 10 and get the ball back for Vlasic in the offense? Clock moving. Exactly 6 minutes left. Elway can't find his man. He wanted Mark Jackson, and the Chiefs will get it back.
J.C. Pearson all over him. Elway thinking he could gun it in. Shouldn't do it.
They've got 3 outstanding cornerbacks. When Ross was down, when Lewis was down, they were fortunate to have J.C. Pearson. And he was all over Mark Jackson on that last attempt by Elway. Horan with a low snap. Gets it away. A line drive. Returnable type for Troy Stratford from the 35. Looking for blocks. Won't get them. But still, good field position to start the drive after the 42-yard punt by Horan. When we come back, Kansas City's got the ball at their own 37-yard line, trailing by 4 with 5:44 left. Up tonight on NBC, The Adventures of Mark and Brian. Then Erie, Indiana, Night Court, and that great movie. Marty McFly is back on the air. Back to the Future 3. It all starts tonight at 8:30 with Back to the Future at 8:30. Back to the Future 3. 1st and 10 from the 37. Okoye. Straight ahead and gets 3 when it didn't look like anything was there. A look once again at the Miller Genuine Draft 10-minute ticker. Another touchdown for Washington. Seals that one at Pittsburgh. Still tight at the Hoosier Dome. A close one in Green Bay as well. And now 2nd and 7 from the 40 for Vlasic and the Chiefs. Pressure coming. Vlasic gets it away. Mecklenburg didn't realize that it was right there. McNair, the intended target.
Simon Fletcher goes right around the blocker and had Vlasic by the chest. You'll see Fletcher coming from the outside, trying to get around the right guard, David Lutz. Oh, that's a strong arm, being able just to get it out there with a guy hanging on to you.
Last year, that's probably called in the grasp. But Vlasic managed to get it away. Instead of the loss, it's now 3rd and 7. Can they keep the drive alive? 5:11 remaining. Pressure on Vlasic. He's hit as he releases. And the Denver defense comes up big. Kenny Walker used in spot duty today, putting good pressure on the quarterback.
But Denver's rush is getting some pressure now, and it's kind of easy. Hey, they know Kansas City wants to throw the ball, so they're going to pin their ears back and come. You'll see Walker coming around the back door, forcing the bad pass.
The rookie Kenny Walker making the big plays. Barker punts it away. Vance Johnson waiting. He'll take it from the 19. Trying to reverse his field. And he's taken down at the 18-yard line. Charles Washington, the first one down there for Kansas City. He's been an exceptional player today on special teams for Marty Schottenheimer. Well, how many great stands and great defensive efforts can this Chiefs unit come up with? 4:55 remaining in the contest.
Well, if you're a Chief fan, you're going to think, hey, we need to get a turnover for some easy points here. And I think that's exactly what Denver's going to say, hey, we don't want to do is turn it over.
Don't forget, on NFL Live next Sunday, starting at 12:30 Eastern, a special interview with the Bears head coach, Mike Ditka. First down from the 18. Kansas City with only 2 timeouts left. 3 left for Denver. Gaston Green weaving his way across the 20 to the 22-yard line. He gets 4. And he keeps the clock moving.
Bill Moss made a good play that time. That was just a kind of a flare blocking scheme by the offensive line. The guard, Crawford Kerr, turned out. Moss, from his right end position, fought across it, making the tackle. This guy, he's been a rock for Kansas City for a lot of years.
And his big play defense, as you can see, makes the big play regularly late in the game. Can they come through in the clutch on their home field against their arch rival in this Western Division showdown? 2nd and 6 from the 22. Movement according to Neil Smith. Let's find out from the official, though.
Well, it looks like Clarence Kay shifted in his stance. Neil Smith pointed and said, hey, I got to go ahead and jump off sides to make the officials call it. Well, it backfired on him.
It's going to go against Kansas City.
Encroachment, number 90, defense, 5 yards.
Well, we're going to take a look at it. I thought I saw a little flinch. If you look at the left side of your screen here, you'll see Clarence Kay lined up right there, right there. He moved, drawing Neil Smith off. Now, once those guys get set, they can't pull out. You'll see on the left side over here, shifting his left arm, trying to get in position to get a cutoff block on Chris Martin, the linebacker. So Neil Smith says, hey, he moved, and he jumps across, but it was called against him.
So instead of 2nd and 6, it's 2nd and a yard. Gaston Green. He's got the first down to the 29. We'll be right back to Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City, but let's head to New York now. An update with Bob Costas.
Talking about this one tomorrow, you can bet on that, Joel. Now, keep in mind, the camera here is not exactly parallel to the line of scrimmage. And number 97 of the Chiefs is going to screen the replay officials' view on this, and so perhaps rightly, they decide inconclusive. But the rule says any part of the passer's body beyond the line of scrimmage when the ball is released makes it an illegal pass. Close, but what do you folks think? Joel?
Thank you, Bob. Well, at the time, we all felt that he was across the line of scrimmage. The play stood for a touchdown to Mark Jackson. 1st and 10 give, Gaston Green again. Not much. 3 yards on the carry. Bob Costas and the crew at NFL Live going to the rule book to take a look once again at John Elway's touchdown pass to Mark Jackson, and obviously the difference in the game in a 4-point contest with 3:21 remaining. And now Kansas City uses one of the remaining 2 timeouts, stopping it with 3:21 left. Heimer has been here before against the Denver Broncos. It is 7 losses to Denver, and Dan Reeves, 5 of the 7 have been decided by 5 points or less, and 4 of the 7 have been decided by a field goal or less. Well, right now it's a 4-point difference. Dan Reeves has taken 7 of the 8 matchups against Schottenheimer. He's on top right now, and Marty is down to his final timeout. 2nd and 7 from the 32. The end around for Shannon Sharp, and he gets a block to the outside, has the first down.
Well, Derek Thomas was wiped out by a block. We're going to take a look at it, see who that was. He had it, the play more or less read, and he was in good shape here. You'll see Carts, the center, will come back around. Now, he's in good shape, except, one thing. Carts able to get out there and get a good crack block on Derek Thomas. Like I said, this guy, Derek Thomas, will be very sore at the conclusion of this ball game.
Great play by Shannon Sharp, the big block by Carts, but he did go out of bounds, stopping the clock with 3:14. First down to the 47. Green gets 2 to the 49. And now Kansas City will use their final timeout, I believe.
Like you're saying, Sharp getting out of bounds, stopping the clock. helped Kansas City an awful lot on that play. But you know, hey, he's a big guy. I mean, big guys are supposed to be, you know, little quick guys, and you know, I mean, those are your kind of your skill players. Tight ends, they're kind of like linemen that get to act like skill players at times, and they don't know all those fancy rules. They just want to try to make yards.
The Miller Genuine Draft 10-minute ticker. Washington clinching a playoff spot today, raising their record to 11-0. Chicago still clinging to that 7-point lead, trying to go to 9-2. New England making a furious comeback in the fourth quarter on the Jets.
Fourth quarter score, New York Jets 21, New England 14.
Well, 2 more first downs and the game is over. The Chiefs will have it stopped one more time with the 2-minute warning. Of course, the incompletion can also stop the clock.
We'll look for Bill Cowher to try to make something happen. Blitz someone. Someone's got to make a play if Kansas City is going to have a chance.
2nd and 8 from the 49. The pitch for Gaston Green. And they get him behind the line. Sally Amua.
Big play, Sally Amua. We talked earlier. Some nose guards, they can't even get out of their shadow. This guy was out there on the other side of the numbers, making maybe the biggest defensive stop so far. We'll take a look here. The center trying to overblock him. He's got that speed. Look at this, out there running down running backs outside the numbers. I very seldom ever got out that fall, Joel, when I was playing. This little guy can scoot it.
He outweighs Gaston Green by more than 100 pounds. And now, this is the game for the Kansas City defense. 3rd and 11. Can they get it back? Elway calling his own number. He wanted the quarterback draw. And the Chiefs will get another crack at it.
Marty Schottenheimer says 3rd down is Elway's cup of tea, and you know, 3rd and forever. This guy can still hurt you. Well, Elway trying to call his own number there.
I am surprised, though, Dan, that he did not try to throw the ball on 3rd and better than 10. So now we have reached the 2-minute warning. It'll be a punting situation when we come back through Denver, and the Chiefs will get it back. Of Avis salute the game's MVP, and that's Gaston Green with 125 yards on the ground today. Got that Denver offense going. He's the winner of the We Try Harder Award. Avis, the official car rental company of the NFL. Moran into punted away into Troy Stratford. Now, can he get a good snap? They already bobbled one. And it is a low snap, but he gets it away in good fashion. It'll take a Denver hop. Stratford bobbling it at the 10. Shannon Sharp, the first one down there as he goes out of bounds at the 15-yard line. Good scoop by Mike Horan. And we take a look now at today's Canon camcorder replay of the game. How would you like this coming at you? Christian Okoye on a touchdown run.
I think we've all been on a deserted road and seen how those rabbits or whatever, their eyes will freeze in the headlights. Well, with that thing coming at me there, that's a big load. I think I'd freeze too. Corey able just to plow through the Denver defense for the touch.
Minute 52 left. Kansas City out of timeouts. A 24-20 Denver lead. And now McNair in the backfield with Okoye on the sideline. 4 wide receivers in the set. Vlasic underthrows it. Brooks should have had the interception. Instead, it stops the clock and brings up 2nd and 10.
Vlasic talking about the receiver should have run a comeback instead of the flag where he runs through the corner. So that's what happens when you don't play much. You get in a crucial situation and got to make sure you're on top of all the calls and things.
Don't forget next Sunday, NFL Live with a special interview with Mike Ditka, 12:30 Eastern, before a big NBC doubleheader. And the second game, the Bears and the Dolphins. 2nd and 10 from the 15. They give Vlasic time. He's got a man wide open. Emil Harry with his first catch since coming off the injured reserve list. What a time to come up with your first catch of the entire year.
He's going to kill the clock here.
They've got the first down, and it's now 2nd down out of the 29. The executive producer of NBC Sports, Terry O'Neill. Our producer for today's contest, Glenn Adamo. Our director, John Gilmartin. Our associate director, Dick Ellis. Bill Herbstman, our production associate. And doing a great job in the booth with us, our statistician, Elliot Cal. So Schottenheimer, Marty Schottenheimer, the head coach of the Kansas City Chiefs. Going with the younger quarterback in crunch time, as they call it. Here you see the lineup. NBC's doubleheader next Sunday. 2nd and 10 from the 29. Pressure coming. Vlasic gets away. There's Thomas for the completion. But a sure-handed tackle by Randy Robbins.
Well, Thomas would have been better off just letting the ball drop. He didn't make any yards, and it would have stopped the clock.
Now it brings up a 3rd and 8 from the 31. Under a minute 10 left. Vlasic floating it over the middle, complete. Burden's got it. Can he get to the sideline? What will they do? Will they stop it? Yes, they do. Dan Reeves is livid. He thought the knee was down before the man got out of bounds. 20 yards on the catch.
Boy, Dan Reeves cannot believe this. He thinks both knees are down, inbounds.
I agree.
They work.
Vlasic now, 7 of 12 for a total of 70 yards. They're always close between Denver and Kansas City. Thomas tries to get to the sideline. Will he make it? No. Clock continues to roll. Kroll with the big play. 45 and counting. He's got to stop it. We'll have to spike it. And now they stop the clock momentarily. With 35 seconds left. It's 2nd and 5. Field goal doesn't do any good for Kansas City, trailing by 4.
For some reason, the officials have just stopped the clock and the play. They're over here discussing something with the side
Out of
judge.
their timeout, the rules provide for a 10-second runoff. The rules provide for a 10-second runoff.
What a break for the Kansas City Chiefs to get it to stop, but now, because they feel that the Chiefs faked an injury, there will be a 10-second runoff. And now the argument comes from the other sideline, and Marty Schottenheimer. They're still discussing it with the referee. Vlasic has done an incredible job, though, for Marty. When you consider you've got your quarterback in there that doesn't take the reps, the repetitions during the work week. It's been DeBerg all week long getting ready for this game. And now Bob McElwee comes over to explain it to the Chiefs head coach.
Well, it may be too little too late for Marty, because Marty is trying to explain something to the official. He thinks there should be a full 40 seconds and then run 10 off of the play clock, I think, is what he's trying to get across.
Off the clock.
Oh, now they will run that 10 seconds. I thought they'd have to, due to the injury. Down to 25 seconds left in the contest. All of a sudden now you've got to start throwing for the end zone.
Well, you got 3 downs. You want to try to go to the end zone at least once.
4 wide receivers setting up for Vlasic, and they start the clock. Vlasic has to hurry. They're rolling the clock. He wasted better than 6-7 seconds. It's complete, but he can't get out of bounds. Complete to Stratford. And that will most likely be the final play of the game. Yes, it will. Time runs out on Kansas City. Confusion reigns at Arrowhead Stadium.
Well, when you don't have your starter in there and it gets down into these crucial moments of the game, you're going to have some confusion.
So the Denver Broncos have swept the Kansas City Chiefs this year. When you're looking down the road to tiebreakers, that is the first one. Head-to-head competition. And Denver has taken over sole possession of the lead in the AFC Western Division with a record of 8-3 as Marty and the Chiefs fall to 7-4. We'll be right back to Arrowhead Stadium with more right after this.